Defense Secretary James Mattis has not formally signed off on it. If approved, the plan would be to add these troops to the brigade that is embedded with the Afghan troops on the ground, meaning many would be heading into direct combat. Some military officials are conditioning the deployment on sending more heavy weaponry to the country. When Trump's escalation was announced, it was widely expected it would involve more deployments down the road and was just a general commitment to keep throwing troops at a 16-plus year war as opposed to a single buildup.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
UPI reports the FBI did not retain text messages between two agency officials involved in the investigations of both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump for a 5-month period, according to a Senate committee letter. The missing texts were revealed after the FBI delivered more than 400 pages of text between Agent Peter Strzok, who led the investigation of the Clinton email server, and FBI lawyer Lisa Page, according to Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, the chairman of the Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee. The committee requested the bulk of text after reports in December that the two made disparaging comments about Trump throughout the 2016 presidential election season. The DOJ was able to collect 384 pages worth of text between Strzok and Page, but said the FBI was not able to collect text Strzok and Page sent to each other between December 14, 2016 and May 17, 2017. Johnson said the inability of the FBI to collect the text was concerning. In a letter to the DOJ, Johnson asked the FBI to further explain why the text messages are missing and produce other relevant records pertaining to the Clinton investigation.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports New York Governor Andrew Cuomo on Sunday said the Statue of Liberty will reopen on Monday even if the U.S. federal government shutdown extends into the work week, vowing to use state funds to keep the landmark monument in operation. Dozens of other national parks and monuments were expected to remain partially or entirely closed after Congress failed to agree on a spending plan to keep the government running past a Friday midnight deadline. In the hours leading up to the shutdown, the Trump administration worked on ways to keep hundreds of parks open without staff in an effort to avoid public anger, although it was unclear which ones would close. U.S. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke said on Twitter over the weekend, "Not all parks are fully open, but we are all working hard to make as many areas as accessible to the public as possible." The National Parks Conservation Association estimated that 1/3 of the 417 national park sites were shuttered. Yellowstone National Park, a 3,500 square mile wilderness located mostly in Montana, remained open but offered limited services, with visitor centers closed and park rangers absent. During the last shutdown in 2013, a number of governors used state funds to keep parks open, including the Statue of Liberty, which at the time cost $61,600 per day to reopen. But in South Dakota, home of Mount Rushmore, the governor said he would not take any action to keep that monument open during the shutdown. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Following this afternoon's arrest of Congress on the charge of over 23 million counts of manslaughter, our reporter spoke to Mark Westnick from Savannah, Georgia, just one of the many Americans that has lost a loved one due to the legislative branch's criminal negligence.
Because of Congress, my 23-year-old son died 2 years ago in Afghanistan. My nephew, he lost his leg in Iraq in 2006, and my brother died in Vietnam in 1969. Congress killed my family.
Defense attorneys for the now incarcerated 538-member group have dismissed the claims made by Westnick and other victims and released a statement saying their client has been, quote, a pillar of the national community for over 200 years and completely innocent of any and all wrongdoing. Keep checking theonion.com for more as this story develops.
Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want. All you have to do is dial in toll-free to join us here. Our number, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we have Skype. You can Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. In addition, we've got the LRN Discord call-in line. You can jump in our Discord, chat with other Free Talk Live listeners during or after the show, or any time for that matter. And then there's a call-in line chat room there, which you can jump into if you want to get on the air with us. And tonight, the us is me, Ian.
And Melanie.
And, of course, you can bring up anything that you want. We always bring things in that we also think that you might find interesting as well. Apparently, the government is back. Melanie, it was a big hubbub over the weekend about...
They always close on the weekend anyway.
Shutdown. Yeah, that's true. Most federal agencies are probably closed on the weekend, although the Parks Service probably still allows people into their parks on weekends.
Well, the parks were extra open because they send out staff to prevent people from coming into the park, whereas usually it's just a big open plot of land that sits there.
Well, what we heard last night was that apparently, and I forget where it was, maybe it was Tennessee, but there was some park where they were sending agents to guard the parking lot. So because the park is so large, they couldn't possibly go along the whole border of the park. They were just guarding the area where people were most likely to park their cars, but then people were just parking their cars on the side of the road and going into the park anyway. So it is nice to see the spirit of civil disobedience alive among the American people.
I don't think that's civil disobedience.
No? If men with guns are standing guarding a parking lot and you
anytime somebody breaks a law, that doesn't make it civil disobedience.
Well, what would
you have to be doing it for political purposes.
Do you?
For it to be civ dis, yes.
Yeah, I guess you're
Otherwise,
right
you're just breaking a law. And then every person commits civ dis 5 to 7 times a day.
That's a good point. All right, I'll give you that one. So if you want to join us here, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. The headlines say the Democrats have given in. According to the Washington Times, they ended their filibuster today and agreed to reopen the government, ending a 3-day work shutdown that embarrassed Washington and only deepened the gridlock that's gripped Capitol Hill. It's not clear what Democrats got out of the shutdown. GOP leaders agreed to a timetable for debating immigration, though they said they were going to do that anyway. And then, going on, they talk more about the shutdown. The Democrats had forced the shutdown after intense pressure from immigrant rights activists and liberal pressure groups who said Congress shouldn't approve any money for government operations unless it also granted eventual citizenship rights to illegal immigrant dreamers, which, of course, I feel like anybody should be able to cross borders without having to ask permission whatsoever. And it's not clear, at this point, what this is going to change, what this shutdown, if anything, is going to change as far as the federal government and how they treat immigrants. I don't expect that it's going to get better over time. I wish that it would, because the more that people are kept out of the United States, the fewer entrepreneurs we're going to see. Immigrants historically have been more likely than native-born people to be entrepreneurs. They are people who are, I think, more likely to appreciate the freedoms, that they gain by coming here, whereas people who are born here tend to be, I think, a little bit more spoiled. So I think that they are the kind of people that we want to come into the United States. And
I don't think those stats hold out throughout all conditions, but that really doesn't mean that you get to shoot people who try to cross your imaginary line.
Right. You being the person who would want to shoot, not me in this particular
Well, yeah,
case.
I don't think that you are sitting at the U.S.-Mexican border shooting people, but whoever is so inclined to do that.
If you want to join us here, you are welcome to
English
do
doesn't have
so.
enough pronouns.
But there was this big deal about the government shutting down over the weekend, and as we learned, and as has been the case every time with one of these threatened shutdowns or actual shutdowns, it's only a partial shutdown. They're only shutting down a fraction of the actual government.
They're mostly just not paying their bills. It's like if I ran a business and I just decided not to pay my bills that week, and I was like, oh, I'm shut down, but I continued doing everything else.
Right.
It's like, no, I'm not. I'm just a deadbeat. Those are two different things.
Well, apparently, had it gone on long enough, there would have been some bureaucrats who wouldn't have gotten a paycheck. But since they're back already, then they're going to get paid. And even if they had missed a paycheck, they would have ended up getting back pay in most cases
last time
anyway.
most people just kept showing up to work anyway, which is kind of astounding to me, but it didn't really seem to hurt them. And it didn't really seem to hurt the feds.
Well, right. I mean, they're not going to take a pay cut because even if they show up and even if they don't get paid for that week, after the shutdown ends, they'll then get the back pay later. So, I mean, they're pretty much guaranteed to get paid whether they come in or not. They're going to get their money because they work for the government. And, it's just a sweet deal, apparently, working for the government. You get all kinds of benefits. You get a much higher average pay than if you have an equivalent in the private sector. You get paid higher than the equivalent.
You get paid higher when you count benefits. Usually the base salary for equivalent positions is higher in the private market.
Is that true? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I had heard the statistic when it counted
benefits. Or at least they used to be a lot, like especially when you have like pensions and stuff.
Yeah.
In some cases, pensions, you only have to be there for 10 or 15 years to get one. So there's people who have
that's pretty sweet.
3 government pensions.
Right.
So,
double dipping, triple dipping. Yeah, we see that around here a lot with just the local bureaucrats, with the state government, where one of the housing enforcers had worked for the Keene Police Department prior to that. And so he was collecting his retirement pension from the police department while taking a full-time position with the code enforcement division. So, I mean, they do this stuff all the time. In fact, during the Robin Hood situation here in Keene, where we had people filling parking meters and ended up getting sued by the city of Keene in that case, they hired a former Keene police captain, I think. Yeah, former Keene police captain who had retired, was collecting his retirement, and they paid him for 40 hours of walking around in the streets recording video of the Robin Hooders. So, they're always double dipping and back scratching when, they get the opportunity to. It's totally the good old boys network. It's totally what it is, and it's that way everywhere. You think you got the good old boys where you live? You do. And they're here too.
Well, some places are worse than others. I mean,
probably, like New Jersey, for instance.
Would be one of the worst states. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, you could do a lot worse than New Hampshire, and we like it a lot here. We're not yet, we haven't seceded yet, but maybe someday. If you want to join us on the radio, you can. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. International headlines from the Philippines. We talked last night about Venezuela, so it's appropriate that we follow that up with a check-in from the Philippines, where President Rodrigo Duterte is now being accused, and probably rightfully so, of trampling on press freedom. Philippine journalists took to the streets, according to Yahoo and AFP, on Friday in support of a news website facing state-enforced closure. The government withdrew the corporate registration of the Rappler website this week and has summoned its chief executive to answer a cyber libel complaint in what media watchdogs describe as payback for critical coverage of Duterte's deadly war on drugs. And for those that aren't familiar, that's one of the aspects here that we've been following since Duterte took over. He was kind of called the Trump of the Philippines because he was known for just coming out and saying outrageous things that in a lot of cases would get somebody in serious trouble and impugn their career. But in this case, it actually got him more popularity, the more offensive things that he was saying, like about how he wished he could have been part of a prison gang rape of a woman because he was the mayor of the town and that he should have gotten first crack. So that was one example of something that was quite offensive that he said, and his poll numbers went up after that. So, I mean, the guy is, by all evidence, a psychopath. There's been evidence that back when he was the mayor of Davao in the Philippines, that he had ordered, death squads to kill people. One of the guys who was on one of the death squads actually came out later on and said that he's personally witnessed Rodrigo Duterte murder somebody with, an Uzi or something like that. So, I mean, this is the guy who's the president now of the Philippines, and he is apparently targeting a critical website, the Rappler, and summoning, again, their chief executive to answer for cyber libel. We'll tell you more about it coming up here, and your calls and thoughts are certainly welcome. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. Skype username is LRN.FM, and you can join us in the LRN Discord at discord.lrn.fm.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Of course, you can bring up what you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you in the studio here, you've got Ian.
And Melanie.
And also want to make sure you know about Bitcoin.com. If you are interested in cryptocurrency, there's a great place to go to get started and to learn the basics. That's Bitcoin.com. That's where I would recommend anybody go to learn the ropes of crypto. And, of course, it's a very, very deep world, and you can dive in as deep as you want. But that's a good starting point. Bitcoin.com. If you're not new, however, and you just want to get the latest news headlines, you should also go over to Bitcoin.com, specifically to their news site, which is news.bitcoin.com. They got a bunch of cool features over at Bitcoin.com. They've got a forum. They've got handy tools for converting Bitcoin prices and more. Head over to Bitcoin.com. As we continue, we're talking about Rodrigo Duterte. He is back in the news again, the president of the Philippines, who has just been so controversial. And I got to say, I was shocked at a recent Bitcoin conference. I won't say which one it was, but at a Bitcoin conference, I was having a conversation with somebody whose wife lives in the Philippines, or from originally. I guess she doesn't live there now, but was from the Philippines. And so they've spent quite a bit of time over there. And I remember being just shocked. This guy had sounded like he was friendly to freedom, but then what he said made it pretty clear that he wasn't, because he thought that Rodrigo Duterte's drug war, which for those that aren't aware, is basically just straight up execution. So no, due process, extrajudicial killings, essentially, where the police, if they see you in the streets and they decide that you are a drug dealer, or they want to think that you're a drug dealer, or would like other people to believe that you were a drug dealer, they will just straight up murder you. And they'll claim something like, they thought you were going to pull a gun or whatever. And they won't have any kind of consequences for it. And also others who commit murders of drug users or drug dealers, they say they're going to investigate those crimes, but I suspect they're not investigating them real hard. There have literally been thousands of people killed since Rodrigo Duterte took over, what was it, the summer of 2016, I think, in this insane war on drugs. And there are also thousands more who've been arrested and put into really cramped prison conditions that are cramped beyond belief. We were looking at photos of it, and there were actually people sleeping on the stairs in the stairwell, because that's how out of room this prison was. They had people sleeping outside in a recreation area, like a basketball court or something like that, just sandwiched in like sardines with one another, because they don't have enough room in the prisons. And so even with all of the killings that the police are committing, they still haven't reduced the amount of people in the prisons either. They are just loaded up. And that's this guy's war on drugs. His idea, he really is like in a war on drugs. He's killing people in the streets. And the shocking part was this guy thought it was a good thing. The guy I was talking to.
Everybody at a crypto meeting and what you're describing to me is only slightly more extreme than some places I've seen in the States, but everybody at a crypto meeting is not an anarchist.
No, certainly not.
And if you talk to somebody about whatever it is that they're good on, so if you're going to a specific type of interest meeting, you're going to meet people who are good on that thing because it's a meeting you're also going to.
Sure.
If you talk to somebody about what they're good on and you kind of don't pay attention and don't actively vet people, everybody's going to kind of start to sound like an anarchist because you're not talking to them about any other issue.
Right. Not everybody. If you go to crypto conferences, you will also encounter regulators, and you'll encounter there's a certain group within the cryptocurrency community that really just wants to obey the government, because they see it as, if we're obedient to the government, then the government will protect us from competition or whatever, or they're not going to shut us down. So there is a crowd of actual arch statist, or at least state obedient people.
Well, yeah, and there are, but even among the people who are just like, I'm here because yay crypto, you can't just then confer from that, then you also must be a voluntarist.
I wasn't. I didn't confer from that. There was other things that he said that made him sound libertarian friendly. I don't remember what they were, but
okay.
But that's why I was surprised when he just came right out and said that he basically supports murdering people, because he believes he believes that tactic of just killing drug dealers in the streets is actually working to reduce crime. Like, he firmly believes that based on his experience and the experience of people that he knows down in the Philippines. He truly believes that Rodrigo Duterte is killing all the right people and that it's totally fine to just kill people in order to try to make society better. And it was just like, okay, man, well, have a nice day. I'm not here to argue, there's no point in arguing about that. And it was just like, man, to me, it seems like violence begets violence, and that violence, when you sow the seeds of violence, you end up reaping what you've sown. But if people still haven't learned that lesson, me arguing with them about it isn't going to teach it to them.
I mean,
so it was just sad.
I feel like it's my job to tell, and not necessarily to go out and tell people, but it's my job to tell people, about anarchy, and it's their job to accept it or not. I don't think this guy has never heard of the concept of not offing people in the street, so there's really not much.
He's heard of it,
yeah. There's really not much to discuss here because, a lot of statists, the concept of statelessness has never crossed their minds. There's nobody alive who the thought of just not shooting people down in the street hasn't crossed their mind as an option. So he's aware of that option, which means he's actively rejecting it. There's nothing left for us to do.
Exactly. I mean, I listened to him kind of explain himself because I'd never actually heard somebody just come right out.
Just kind of out of morbid curiosity.
I mean, because we were at this party and, it was something to do. And I mean, whenever we get on the air and we talk about the war on drugs and we talk about ending the war on drugs, we always invite people to call in who want to keep the war going. And we know they're out there, but they never call. I mean, almost
they're probably
never.
Not listening to libertarian talk radio.
People listen to talk radio they don't agree with. You realize that, right?
Yes, but
so if they're listening to talk radio at the time we're on, they're listening to Free Talk Live in a lot of cases. Because in some markets, we're the only choice for talk radio on the radio. So, but anyway, the point is, we've been doing this for years, and it's very rare that you'll actually find a real ardent drug warrior to call in. And even then, most of them aren't going to say, put them to death. They're not going to come right out and say that they want to execute.
I know some people in real life who will say that. Most of them used to be drug dealers, by the way.
Really? What do they want to do? Kill their competition?
They grew up and had kids, and now they want to kill all the drug dealers.
Oh, I see. So they've matured, is the idea.
Yeah, they're above it now because they got knocked up instead of getting high that day. So
the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. I suspect it was both. They probably got high and knocked up.
I didn't ask.
At the same time. 855-450-3733. But what happened in the Philippines to a website that was critical of President Duterte, the man who has just been slaughtering his own people? And apparently he also doesn't like it when local media criticizes him for that, so they're trying to attack this website and shut it down. There's more on the way here. It is Free Talk Live.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well, so Skype on in here at Skype username LRN.FM, or join us in the new on-air chat room on the Discord at discord.lrn.fm. And Free Talk Live is brought to you by Anarchapulco. However, if you want to attend this year, sorry, you're going to have to find somebody who's willing to sell you their ticket because the event has sold out for the first time in the history of the event, which is this is the 4th year of Anarchapulco. I had the pleasure of going last year, and it really is the, I would say, premier libertarian networking convention party event. I mean, there's a lot of great speakers, including Ron Paul, who's going to be the keynote this year. There's also live music like Jordan Page, Backwards, Rob Hustle, and more. They're probably going to have well over a dozen plus speakers. I only have a partial list here. I'm guessing more than a couple dozen, but it was a big event last year, and it's going to be even bigger this year at the Princess Resort in Acapulco, Mexico. It's coming up fast, too. We're less than 4 weeks away from it. It's happening February 15th through the 18th. That's February 15th through the 18th. We're looking forward to seeing you there. And again, if you didn't get your tickets in time this year, start planning for next year, because if this year was a sellout, it's guaranteed to happen again next year. So, block off some time in February of 2019 because you're going to want to be attending this event. And if you can find a ticket, maybe Adam Kokesh will sell his ticket since he's in a jail cell right now, and there's no guarantee that he's going to be getting out. I'd heard that people had raised the bail money for him, but that hasn't apparently come to fruition yet. So I don't know what the latest is on Adam Kokesh.
They were talking about not paying the bail so that they could just go and demand that the jail release him instead.
That's not going to work.
No, it's not.
No. I mean, it doesn't hurt to go and make a spectacle at a jail. We've certainly done that here in New Hampshire on a number of times in the Keene area. Of course, I was also arrested one of those times.
Right, but you were not under any delusion like this is an alternative to bail.
No, not at all. But they did arrest a dozen of us. We ended up being called the Trespassive 12 in that particular case, which was a pretty interesting case. But you can go back in the archives at freekeene.com if you're interested in learning more about that. Anyway, we're gonna be there, Free Talk Live broadcasting from the event. I actually haven't even gotten my plane ticket yet, so I probably should do that because I hear they get more expensive the closer you get to the actual.
Yeah, you should usually buy planes like 2 months in
2
advance.
months out, yeah.
Although I don't know about international. That's
I don't either.
domestic, so.
Anarchapulco.com is where you can go. They are going to live stream the event though this year, and that's because it's sold out. So if you did miss out on it, you're going to get to watch, whoever speaking from the live stream. So check it out at anarchapulco.com. As we continue here, we're talking about the Philippines, which is a country that you probably don't want to visit because it is crime-ridden from what people tell me who've actually lived there. And they've elected a tough guy, Rodrigo Duterte, who's not only talks tough about crime, but actually does commit murder, apparently, himself, according to one of his former death squad.
As opposed to going through a third party.
Like having the police do it. Yeah. Like Obama or Bush or Trump, they're not going to do their dirty work. But Rodrigo Duterte is the kind of guy who actually will rip some fingernails off of people. I mean, that's the kind of guy, apparently, who he is. And I don't know if he's actually done that, but there was a guy who worked with him previously who said he's witnessed him commit murder before. Which is crazy, but that's just.
I mean, it also might be the case that the U.S. kind of has the advantage of being kind of de facto intimidating. It might just be the case that other politicians in other countries have to kind of earn their intimidation points. So they just, oh yeah, I saw him kill like 37 people. Like, you better obey the laws. I don't think it's entirely that, but I think you do have to take that into consideration when you're comparing a Venezuela dictator to a U.S. dictator.
No, I see what you're saying there. Although this guy is probably way more rough and tumble than the Venezuelan dictator. I mean, Maduro is a former bus driver, whereas this dude is...
I'm sorry, we talk about Venezuela all the time. I meant Philippines.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're both very interesting countries to look at. We did look at Venezuela's latest news last night on Free Talk Live. So if you missed that, you can go grab the archive anytime you want at freetalklive.com. But what's going on there now in the Philippines is that the website Rappler, R-A-P-P-L-E-R, Rappler, has been targeted by the Duterte administration, and they are facing a state-forced closure with its chief executive summoned to answer a cyber libel complaint. 200 journalists and activists, most of them wearing black, gathered in North Manila at dusk to protest the ruling, seen by critics as Duterte's latest bid to stifle opposition to his narcotics crackdown. The protesters carried banners saying, "Fight the Duterte dictatorship and defend press freedom." Duterte spokesman Harry Roque said in a statement that the demonstration showed that, quote, "freedom is alive and democracy is alive in the Philippines," unquote. So they're pointing out that, hey, look, we didn't crack down on these guys, so therefore freedom. You can protest here in the Philippines. Although Rappler, founded in 2012, is among a handful of Philippines-based news organizations which had produced reports critical of Duterte's flagship war on drugs that the government says has now claimed the lives of nearly 4,000 suspects. Because that's how it goes in the Philippines. If you're a suspect for drugs, you end up dead. You don't get to court. You just get killed in the streets. Human rights groups charge that thousands more have been killed by shadowy vigilantes. So again, the 4,000 number, that's the number attributed to the police. Those are the official killings on behalf of the government. And of course, the Philippines isn't a small place. I believe there's a population of over 100 million people there, so keep that in mind. But still, it is a shocking number. The government's corporate regulator alleged the news organization violated a constitutional ban on foreign ownership of local media when its parent company issued Philippine depository receipts for Rappler shares that were sold to a foreign fund. Rappler maintains the investment did not constitute equity nor give the investors veto on editorial matters and has vowed to fight Monday's ruling, which takes effect after 50 days. Rappler's had a testy relationship with Duterte since he won an election on his anti-crime platform in 2016, with the Philippine leader threatening last year to expose the website's American ownership. Duterte has also publicly attacked other media outlets that have criticized his policies, including leading daily The Philippine Daily Inquirer and major broadcaster ABS-CBN, threatening to block the TV station's application for a franchise renewal. And if you think for a moment that the United States is somehow immune from this because we have freedom or something, then, look, it's just a difference in degrees here. The people that are being targeted in the Philippines, it seems clear that they're probably being targeted for political purposes, and there likely aren't as many organizations there to target as there are here in the United States. But a licensing process is still a control process. It's still a way for the government to control the media, to control who gets access to the airwaves, to control who gets to provide the news and information and the entertainment for the people of any given area. And when you have to ask permission, when you have to beg a government bureaucrat for permission to be able to turn on a transmitting device, you don't have press freedom. You might be able to report on the things you want to report on if you can get the license. But if you can't get that license, then you're effectively completely locked out. And the only opportunity you'll have is what you can create on the internet for yourself, which, thank goodness, it's a way we have to actually get the word out about things these days, which is helpful. Or you can try to call into the talk shows that are allowed on the air on the station that the government allowed to be on the air in the first place. So again, don't think for a moment that the United States is somehow this bastion of freedom in comparison to the Philippines. It is just a difference in degrees, and it's probably cheaper to apply for a government license in the Philippines than it is here in the U.S. I'm speculating on that point. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well at Skype username LRN.FM. Plus, you can join us in the Discord chat room where we've got an on-air call-in line there. Discord's available at discord.lrn.fm. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
People are waking up. They're standing up to those pushing pesticides and GMOs as safe alternatives for a starving world. What a bunch of crap! I tell you, I'd rather eat dirt. So, I drink Life Change Tea. It's an herbal drink, cleansing my body of toxic sludge and nasty chemicals, and of course, ridding the intruders that are hidden in my so-called food. And by the way, Life Change Tea is non-GMO and organic. No fillers, no yuck. Just a great defense against you-know-what. May the supplement force awaken you. Don't fall to the dark side. Sorry. I went to the movies last night. Anyway, enough said. How do you get that herbal drink and change your life? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. You will awaken. You will get stronger, and you might even lose a bit of weight. So awaken to Life Change Tea and the many one-of-a-kind supplements at GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. May the supplement force be with you.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you are able to call in and bring up anything you want. Just dial in toll-free at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well, and the Skype username here is LRN.FM. And there's the LRN Discord at discord.lrn.fm, where the listeners in the LRN Discord right now in the Free Talk Live chat room have somehow managed to actually predict the next caller who has just called into the show. It's Ian and Melanie in the studio here tonight. If you haven't checked out the new Discord yet, you ought to do that. It is free, and it's cross-platform, so whether you've got a Macintosh or Windows or Linux or you've got an iPhone or an Android, you can download the Discord app for that device, and you can get into our chat rooms there. It's also available on the web, so maybe you don't want to download an app. You just want to go to a website. You can do the web version of it. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. You'll find people in our chat rooms throughout the day, throughout the night. They're always talking about something, and when we're on the air, sometimes they talk about what we're discussing right now. And one of our chatters in there was referring to President Duterte in the Philippines, this psychopath who, under his control, the country's police have murdered approximately 4,000 drug suspects. So no trials necessary. Just kill them right there in the streets is the official policy, and don't expect any kind of serious investigation.
So the difference is that they made that the official policy.
Correct. Yeah, that's basically how it works there, and any kind of serious investigation of, untoward criminal activity by the police is going to be completely ignored because that's the policy. And then there's also thousands more of drug suspects who were killed by vigilantes. So nobody knows who murdered those people. But if you find a needle by a body, then that means they must have been a drug pusher. So therefore, just go ahead and ignore that murder.
I don't know how many drug pushers carry around needles. That seems kind of silly.
Well, we just don't have time to investigate this killing. It may be silly, but we've got to be over here doing other things. We'll just leave that body for the cleanup crew, because they do have other crimes to investigate, but ultimately there's basically a policy, it seems, of ignoring any kind of murders of anybody that's suspected of drugs there. It's just a crazy situation. But one of our chatters in there right now, Singularity, says the easiest explanation for Duterte is that he's a puppet installed by a competing drug cartel to control the whole country, which would mean that he is doing the bidding of that cartel and killing off their competition while leaving the other cartel members that control him alone. Now, that's a theory. I don't know if there's anything to back it up, but it is an interesting
pretty
theory.
much how... that's not definitionally what a government is, but it's pretty close.
A protection racket?
Yeah.
Definitely. Let's go to Ricky. He's on the line and calling from the Commonwealth, Pennsylvania. Go ahead, Ricky.
Thank you there, brother Ian. I really appreciate that. Now, it's funny there. You mentioned Singularity. Now, I will say Ricky from the Commonwealth can't really use Discord because he uses a Windows phone. Microsoft... Well, how do you do it with your Xbox? How's your Xbox working with this?
I don't have an Xbox.
Oh, you don't have an Xbox? I thought you had one.
I don't generally buy Microsoft products.
Well, anyways, I sent all that stuff to the administrator. He hasn't gotten back to me.
Huh?
You can't even open it from the regular browser?
Yeah, you can open it in a browser. I don't know if you can open it in a mobile browser on a Microsoft phone.
You cannot.
So what you're saying is, Ricky, the person who's claiming to be you in the chat room is not, in point of fact, you.
No, that is me.
It was
me. I was able to register, but the problem is I can't use...
How are you in the chat room but also can't get in the chat room?
I can't use voice chat. There's a hard block been put on. I have sent a ton of crap to the administrator. He hasn't gotten back to me yet.
Which administrator?
Huh?
Which administrator?
The administrator of Discord.
Oh, you emailed the Discord Corporation is what you're saying.
No, of the LRN chat.
I have not gotten any kind of message from you at any point. Maybe you're talking about Stefan. You're talking about Stefan from Ohio?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, that's true. He is the true administrator of the Discord. He's the one who created it. Okay, so that was you, because people were wondering whether that was you who had gotten in there as Ricky from the Commonwealth.
Yes, and here's the thing. There's been a hard block put on. I'm confident of that. I've done research going back since... No, it's Discord back to 14. I worked with Microsoft Edge when it was Project Spartan. I know it exceptionally well as a web browser. It's UWP.
Does anybody actually use the Microsoft Edge browser? Does that actually happen? Like, besides people who've just turned their computer on for the first time after buying it and don't have any browsers installed, and then they go into Microsoft Edge to then go and download Firefox or Chrome?
There are certain government websites that will only work on that browser and
right?
Some previous versions of the other Microsoft's browser. And so if I have to go to one of those websites,
then you have to. Okay.
I got an even better one on this. Get this. Now, I don't have a problem with third-party apps. Now, there is a part that's a third-party app, but it's impossible to use because it's so buggy in the public beta. Now, here's another thing. Now, there is Clamor, which is a third-party app. But see, Discord will not allow. You have to go to another browser, okay, and get a token from another browser on a PC and then use it here. And then you can log into it because they will not let you log into their system. This has been going on ever since.
You're saying that Discord won't allow you to log in from a Microsoft phone?
Well, no. See, if you use a third-party app like Clamor, that works.
I don't know what that is, dude. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about Microsoft phones. I don't know anyone that has one.
I sent Stefan 39 pages of a Discord page where they have been talking about this since 2000 and the end of early part of 15.
Brother, I don't know what you're talking about. Melanie, do you have any idea what he's referring to right now?
No.
I don't.
But
okay, I'm just making sure I'm not alone.
To ask,
no, I just want to make sure I'm not alone in being super confused.
Yeah, can't use Opera.
All right, look, man. Look, don't you have like a normal computer?
Yeah, I got one that can run an Oculus Rift, but I'm in a hotel room at the moment.
Oh, okay, all right, I got you.
Here's the thing, I can't get Opera. I can't download that. That's not accessible. I can't use Chrome. I can't type it.
I thought you loved Microsoft. I thought Microsoft was like the greatest thing ever for you.
Honestly, this sounds like a problem with the Microsoft phone. I know the only people who I've known had them. They had them for a couple months and they were horrible.
Yeah.
No, you don't understand. It's never worked. It hasn't worked going back to 15.
But why do you still have it? I mean, it's 2018.
No, you don't understand. I can run the web app I just can't use the damn voice chat. And you can't use it on Xbox either.
Yeah, but you were just okay. So
right, but this is a complaint about Microsoft, not a complaint about
Discord. Your phone
Discord.
sucks. I mean, that's the thing. Like you are
a hard block on it, no doubt. That has been implied in their answer.
What is a hard block? Who's hard blocking what?
They are hard blocking the browser. Now there was actually a workaround.
Who is they? Who is they? Microsoft?
Discord.
Discord? I am so confused. How can Discord block your browser, dude?
It has nothing to do with the browser. It has to do with them blocking that particular facet of it. The browser works for the application. I just can't use voice chat.
Well. I'm sure people would appreciate you just in text chat. At least now we know that it was actually you. Thank you for the call tonight, Ricky. The toll-free number here tonight. I don't know what he was calling about.
I know that can be done because I know that some government websites, I'm not going to use the correct terminology, but because I don't know what it is, essentially like firewall different browsers, because that's why it only works on internet.
Right.
But I don't see how a private company would have any incentive to do that.
No, the private company wants you to be able to use more than one browser.
You know, the government's getting the kickback from Microsoft, so
or whoever, yeah.
Why a private company would do that, and you have to go to that website if you have to go to it. It's not like you say, well, I don't like Discord, I'll go back to Facebook.
It may be that there are so few users with Microsoft phones that Discord just decided this isn't worth our time, right? Like to some extent you do want to maximize your capability, but if you've got 0.01% of your audience that insists on using this Microsoft phone that nobody has, and the question is, how many of your hours of programming time, because you only have so many programmers and they only have so many hours of time in a week, how many hours are you going to have them work on fixing the bugs so that 3 of your 3 million users can actually access the website on their, outdated Microsoft phone? So maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe
would that apply to a regular? So I know if you're trying to download it to an app, you can have problems specific to that device, but would that apply even if you're just on the regular browser?
It could, because there are some sites that have incompatibilities with certain browser types, and just like if somebody is to email me with some obscure error with an obscure browser, I'm just going to be like, look, dude, I don't have time to deal with this. I'm sorry it's not working for you, but if you just go ahead and open up Firefox or Chrome, it'll work fine. More coming up here in moments. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Equality for women? Melanie will tell us about it coming up.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, January 22nd, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.03 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,332 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $38, and the average price of Bitcoin is $11,376. Antiwar.com reports over the weekend, reports have emerged suggesting that the Pentagon is in the process of considering another escalation of the Afghan war, with proposals pushing another 1,000 U.S. ground troops being sent to the country soon. The U.S. had 8,500 troops in Afghanistan last August when President Trump announced his escalation, and has an estimated 14,000 there now. The U.S. Army leadership is said to overwhelmingly back the proposal to add another 1,000, though Defense Secretary James Mattis has not formally signed off on it. If approved, the plan would be to add these troops to the brigade that is embedded with the Afghan troops on the ground, meaning many would be heading into direct combat. Some military officials are conditioning the deployment on sending more heavy weaponry to the country. When Trump's escalation was announced, it was widely expected it would involve more deployments down the road, and was just a general commitment to keep throwing troops at a 16-plus year war as opposed to a single buildup.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
UPI reports the FBI did not retain text messages between two agency officials involved in the investigations of both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump for a 5-month period, according to a Senate committee letter. The missing texts were revealed after the FBI delivered more than 400 pages of text between Agent Peter Strzok, who led the investigation of the Clinton email server, and FBI lawyer Lisa Page, according to Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, the chairman of the Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee. The committee requested the bulk of text after reports in December that the two made disparaging comments about Trump throughout the 2016 presidential election season. The DOJ was able to collect 384 pages worth of text between Strzok and Page, but said the FBI was not able to collect text Strzok and Page sent to each other between December 14, 2016 and May 17, 2017. Johnson said the inability of the FBI to collect the text was concerning. In a letter to the DOJ, Johnson asked the FBI to further explain why the text messages are missing and produce other relevant records pertaining to the Clinton investigation.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports New York Governor Andrew Cuomo on Sunday said the Statue of Liberty will reopen on Monday even if the U.S. federal government shutdown extends into the work week, vowing to use state funds to keep the landmark monument in operation. Dozens of other national parks and monuments were expected to remain partially or entirely closed after Congress failed to agree on a spending plan to keep the government running past a Friday midnight deadline. In the hours leading up to the shutdown, the Trump administration worked on ways to keep hundreds of parks open without staff in an effort to avoid public anger, although it was unclear which ones would close. U.S. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke said on Twitter over the weekend, "Not all parks are fully open, but we are all working hard to make as many areas as accessible to the public as possible." The National Parks Conservation Association estimated that 1/3 of the 417 national park sites were shuttered. Yellowstone National Park, a 3,500 square mile wilderness located mostly in Montana, remained open but offered limited services, with visitor centers closed and park rangers absent. During the last shutdown in 2013, a number of governors used state funds to keep parks open, including the Statue of Liberty, which at the time cost $61,600 per day to reopen. But in South Dakota, home of Mount Rushmore, the governor said he would not take any action to keep that monument open during the shutdown. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Hailing it as the industry's most innovative product to date, global cosmetics brand Maybelline released its long-awaited Ideal Woman Rubber Mask this week, a thick latex facial covering worn over the head in lieu of makeup.
By simply yanking it over your face, you can instantly achieve a fresh look that conforms to Western ideals of beauty. Essentially, you can just roll out of bed, stretch the latex urethane rubber beauty mask over your natural face, and boom, you're ready to start your day. Forget concealer, powder, blush, or mascara. Now you can achieve a look that adheres to the conventional standard of feminine perfection in seconds.
It's incredible. You immediately see the difference. The very first time I tried it on, my pores were minimized, my skin tone was more even, and all of the idiosyncratic little wrinkles, physical imperfections, and tiny irregularities that make my face unique were erased.
I don't spend a lot of time on makeup anyway, but now all I need to do is yank this thing over my head, and that's it. I'm conventionally attractive. I mean, this gives me so much more time to find an outfit that makes my body look thin and socially acceptable.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything you want here as we launch into the second hour of the program. You dial in toll-free and join us if you'd like. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733, or Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. Or you can join us on the new LRN Discord, which is what we're going to next with you in the studio tonight, by the way. It's Ian.
And Melanie.
The Discord chat is demanding, Melanie, that you get into the chat room so they can talk to you.
I'm doing a radio show.
All right, let's go to your calls here. In fact, Stefan is on the line on that Discord. Hello, Stefan from Ohio.
I just wanted to make a quick comment about the call Ricky just made.
Yeah.
Does he really expect me to sit down and read 39 pages of Discord crap?
Did he really send you 39 pages?
Yes.
I mean, he said he did,
But
so
what-
I believed him.
But wait, 39 pages of what, though?
39 pages of nothing but technical crap when it comes to Discord, about how it doesn't work on Windows phones and this browser he was trying to use to get into it that he can't use. And I'm just going to put out a public service announcement. If you guys are on the Discord, I don't necessarily have time to read these kinds of things. And if you're going to send them to anybody, you should send them to the people that actually work on the program. That's not my job.
Or maybe
If
send
he
them
would've-
to the Microsoft Corporation and ask why their products can't actually... Because you know what? I'm pretty sure Discord doesn't run on my notebook either, because my notebook is not a functional smartphone, and neither is a Windows
Your
phone.
notebook?
Like a
Your
literal
written,
notebook.
handwritten notebook.
The
Gotcha.
point being, if you don't have adequate equipment,
Right.
it ain't going to work.
Yeah, just to clarify, you chose to create this Discord. It was something that you were kind of just, hey, Ian, here's what Discord is like. I'd actually already had Discord installed on my computer because I'd had the intention to check it out. I just never got around to it. And so you kind of boosted me into doing that. And now we decided to just make it the LRN Discord, and it's taken off
booming.
with over 200 members in just, 2 weeks? If that.
Not even 2 weeks. 2 weeks on Wednesday.
Right.
And
So
this is just like another one of those things. Look, I know a lot of people absolutely cannot stand Ricky, but I have nothing personally against him, but the guy does send me a lot of crap when he has problems with Discord.
Really?
Hey, brother Stefan, the Discord's not working. Let me send you like 1,000 faxes.
I thought it was funny, though, that he actually did come into the Discord.
Wait, he sent faxes because he doesn't like the level of technology that you have.
No. It was a joke I had made on the Discord. If I had a fax machine and he was faxing
blow
me,
it
I'd
up.
put a garbage can in front of it.
Yeah, you don't want. Yeah, I mean, it's bad when people get your fax number if you got a fax machine, because then they can do mean things.
Because
Like,
then, they can use all your ink up.
right, they can fax you black sheets. And
I've
that'll-
worked in offices. I've worked in private sector. I would expect this from a government agency, but I have worked in private sector offices within less than the past decade that had regular fax machines, and I really just want to know why anyone would do that.
just because they were getting black sheets or whatever, and people were using up their ink. Or
Just
what?
because anybody who has your phone number can now just use all your ink.
Yeah, that's true. If
And
they're
your papers.
malicious.
That's an absolute jerk thing to do. I just
Totally.
wanted to give that PSA to everybody. If you're on the Discord, the administrators don't necessarily have the time to read all of this stuff. Just be polite and don't send us 39 pages.
There you go, Stefan.
I mean, don't do that to anybody that you're not paying.
Anything else, dude?
Have you guys talked about Vermont's marijuana legalization yet?
Yes, we did. We talked last week. Unless there's been news today, I don't know. Was there a headline?
Apparently it'll go into effect in July, but it might be like Maine, where recreational sales are going to take an absolute eternity. Jeez!
Huh?
Sorry. My cat just hit my feet, and I did not expect that.
All right, it sounded a lot worse than it was then. Thanks for the call tonight, Stefan.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. So we did talk about the Vermont legalization thing. It was last week, and let's see if I can recall. I believe it's up to an ounce for people who are 21 and over. It will be legal to possess that. Up to 5 grams of hashish and likely other concentrates, so wax or shatter. It will be legal to possess that. You will not be able to be arrested for it. However, they did not put in any kind of provisions for the legal sale.
Right, so you have to get it through magic, like in all the other quasi-legal states.
You can grow it, but then again, you'd also have to magically get the seeds.
Because a lot of states you have to magic get weed.
Well, you still have to magically get the seeds.
You can't grow it or buy it.
Right, you still have to legally or illegally buy the seeds, right?
Okay.
But yes, you can magically acquire seeds, and then you can grow marijuana, which you can then gift to others. So gifting marijuana is allowed, and that made me question: are we going to see these gifting schemes arise to where, oh, Melanie, I've got a pencil that I'll sell you.
I don't know how Vermont has this set up, but states are aware of this, and not just for marijuana laws, but for laws in general, have defined gifts in such a way that, it has to actually be. It's not like, oh, we're selling cups, and I'm giving you, like, no.
I can't give you a free bag of marijuana if you buy a $50 Dixie cup.
I don't know if that's the case in Vermont, but that is the case in a lot of states.
Yeah.
Not just for marijuana, but for...
That's too bad. That's a bummer, because I know that in Florida, after the smoking ban went into place, they were actually allowing, let's see, what was it? It was a Denny's. This was a long time ago. This was 15 years ago, like right when we started doing Free Talk Live. The state of Florida, they had a ballot initiative process, and everything that got on the ballot would pass, basically. So somebody got a smoking ban on the ballot, and it passed with like 70% voting for it, which is generally what would happen, was 70% of the state will vote for everything that is proposed on the ballot process. And
Florida scares me.
It's awful. They voted for this, and the smoking ban went into place, but there was certain exemptions that if you sold a certain portion of like drinks as opposed to food, then you were considered like a bar or something like that.
Yeah, so that sounds like a bar definition. So that sounds like it was allowed in bars.
And so Denny's, like one of the Denny's franchisees just started selling drinks and gave the food away for free. That way they would still be allowed to have cigarette smoking in there. So I love those kind of approaches. And in the state of Maine, after they legalized cannabis in the 2016 vote, they have yet to actually figure out or set a date for the retail sale of cannabis. But there are people who are delivery services. You can call them up and say, that you want to get a half ounce of weed delivered to your house. They will show up, give you the half ounce of weed, and they will charge you for the delivery. Oh no, the weed's free. We're just charging you for the bike ride.
If you're in a state where you and I don't have a list of which ones are and aren't. If you're in a state where you can get away with something like this, by all means do this.
Yeah.
Just nobody go out tomorrow without looking it up, thinking that you're going to sell $50 Ziploc bags that come with free weed and do this openly and
what if
think
I sell
nothing
them,
bad's going to happen.
What if I sell them?
Just look into it before you take that risk.
But what if I sell them the Ziploc bag empty first? And then they just give it back to me because they feel like it, and I feel like giving them some weed.
Okay, so if you're in a state that treats actual
where
sales
do you look for
as
that?
sales,
Like, where do you look that up?
it depends on where they have it. It might be in that specific statute. It might be in one of the, what I want to call the intro statutes of the criminal code, where they defined person and intent
or
and
gift
all
or
that
something
good
like
stuff.
that.
It might be in case law somewhere. It
Yeah,
just
it sounds really
depends
obscure.
on-
It sounds hard to find.
Well, yeah, this is what law is.
Yes, that's true. It's purposefully hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, just, or if you're going to do it anyway, that's cool too, but just be
Well, and
aware that
there's
this
risk.
might be the case.
Right, there's risk involved. And I don't know if those people selling the weed via delivery services in Maine have done any research. I think they're just trying to, work around the law, and they're hoping that they get left alone. And
Maine sounded like they were cool with it, so, hey.
Well, the people of Maine are cool with it. They voted it.
Well, yeah, but they're not getting arrested, and they're doing this fairly
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, we'd heard about that, but we haven't heard about the arrests. So if there are arrests happening in Maine, I hope that Blackie or some of the other folks out there will let us know if any of that stuff has been happening there. Massachusetts is expected to roll out retail sales this summer, I believe either June or July. So that'll be exciting. Maybe we'll all take a Free Talk Live field trip down there one day and check out their storefronts. All right, the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up, we got your calls and thoughts about whatever you want. You can take control of the airwaves here. This is Free Talk Live.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency but feel overwhelmed by the high price of Bitcoin? Or maybe you've used Bitcoin in the past, but were turned off by the high transaction fees and slow transfer times. It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital international money that you can send anywhere, anytime for less than a nickel. With Dash, your transactions can be instant and private. Dash offers a fully incentivized and decentralized peer-to-peer network where miners are rewarded for keeping the network fast, strong, and safe for its users. Start your journey at Dash.org. Since its launch in 2014, Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world and is showing no signs of stopping. Check out Dash.org for more information about Dash and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, bring up anything that you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Or you can join us on Skype. It's Skype username LRN.FM. Or jump in the on-air call-in line room on our Discord over at discord.lrn.fm. Although we're having trouble with Mac. Melanie, you've got a Mac here in the studio. We're trying to get you into the Discord. But it keeps trying to launch the app when we go through discord.lrn.fm rather than letting you just get on the website. So we'll see if we can get Melanie in there. We're trying that. The Blink Home security system will help you protect your property, whether it's your home or small office. BlinkProtect.com/FTL is where you can go to get 3 Blink cams for what some of the other guys might charge you for 1 security camera. You know, those wired style camera systems that are a huge hassle to get set up. You don't have that problem with the Blink Home security system. It's all wireless. There's only one wire in the whole system, and it does not connect any cameras. It just connects the hub to the power outlet, and then everything else you just set up wirelessly with your favorite Wi-Fi device like your tablet or smartphone. And then once Blink detects motion in front of one of the cameras at the times when you specify it should, it will send you clips to your device wherever you are. And you can also pull up the camera and monitor it remotely if you'd like to do that too. BlinkProtect.com/FTL is where you can go. That's BlinkProtect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. As we continue here. Now, Melanie, you had wanted to talk tonight about equality for women.
Well, I wanted to talk about this thing Oxford did.
Because equality. That's the reason they did it,
That was their
supposedly.
reason.
Yeah.
That was also false. But
all right. Let's hear about it. What'd they do?
So Oxford University, for this past semester, for exams, not all exams, but only exams in computer science and math, decided to give all women 105 minutes instead of 90 minutes.
Whoa.
Men still had 90 minutes to complete the exams.
So women had 25% more time, basically.
Because women get more anxious than men under time pressure, according to Oxford University.
Really?
And so they had to equal that out by unequaling it. And then, predictably, the women scored higher because they had more time to take the same test.
So that means women are smarter than men.
If this is where we're going, I guess. So,
is that what they're saying?
Well,
see, look here. Go ahead.
No, they're still saying that it's still in. No, even though they've taken the system live, they're saying that it's still in kind of the research. They're trying to figure out what they should do, what this says. They haven't really made any conclusions yet. But yeah, so because
well, it's easy to conclude that if you have more time on a test, you're probably going to do better.
That's easy for a rational person to conclude,
right.
But apparently, I don't know, like.
So was the idea here that, you know, we need to get more women in the science and engineering, math kind of fields? Because that's always been a thing, right?
They didn't say that, but
that's always been a thing.
What it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's computer science and math. Enough of women aren't joining computer science and math for leftists
now, why
to be
is
happy
that,
with.
Melanie? I mean, you're a woman. You're into math, though, so you're a little bit different, right?
Okay, so bookkeeping is law, not math.
Hold on.
Most people, okay, there's not like exponential equations in your books.
True.
There's like
It's not
addition and
advanced.
subtraction.
It's not advanced math, but it is math.
Okay, hopefully nobody's going to Oxford University for addition and subtraction, although I don't know if it would surprise me or not.
All right.
So, yeah, I mean, okay, so most women, look for careers, if they look for careers that are flexible. Computer science is not that. If you take off 9 months
that's what you mean by flexible.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you. Okay.
Either that or have, that you can leave work at 4:30 every day or even 5 o'clock every day and work only 40 hours a week or whatever it is. I mean,
So is that what you think? I mean, I don't know anything about what it's like to be a woman. Is that seriously something that women consider when they get a job? Is I'm going to be pregnant at some point, so I shouldn't work here?
I don't know if it's something they consider when they get a job, because you might get a job while you're working through college at Walmart.
You mean a career?
And you don't really plan on getting pregnant in that time. But
I see.
If you're choosing your field, it would make sense if you plan on staying in it that you would choose a field that fits with your life. And if part of your life is going to be that you're going to be pregnant, you'd be stupid not to consider that.
I see what you're saying. So you don't think that science careers are flexible for pregnancies?
I don't think that computer science is flexible, from what I know about computer science, to taking extensive periods of time off of work and coming back. It's a field that changes. So they're currently they're all the time developing new code and new ways to do stuff or whatever. That's what the computer people tell me.
Shouldn't you be able to, even though you're pregnant, that doesn't mean you can't learn about new computer stuff, right? Like, you can still read a book or read a
in
paper.
The same way that going to college is not the same thing as having 4 years of experience in a field.
Yeah.
Sitting at home and reading about it isn't really the same thing as doing it for 60 hours a week.
But, I mean, couldn't a pregnant woman program from her house?
Okay, so, I mean...
Do you need to take 9 months off when you're pregnant? I mean, you only
really
have to take, some of the months off, right? Like a month or something. Like, how long do you really need to take off from work if you're pregnant?
That is an entirely different debate, which we can have, but it's not really...
I mean, I'm not saying you know because you've been pregnant. You have not, from what I understand.
Right. But... No, I haven't. So... It's not like women are going on maternity leave and then sitting at home all day watching Netflix. They're on maternity leave because they're A, recovering from a major medical event, and B, trying to take care of this new human that they now have.
Right.
So
it's more of the afterbirth than the pre-birth is what you're saying. They're taking time off after they have the baby.
It's my understanding that, like, especially later on, you have other issues that might not be compatible with working 60 hours a week. I can't fully speak to that. It makes sense to me that would be the case, though. But yeah, so it's not a vacation. You're doing something else. So keeping up with computer programming, and then even keeping up with like promotions and stuff in a career that's a kind of a fast-paced career like that isn't really conducive to having babies.
I see.
Whereas if you have a career that's kind of not stagnant, but in a field where really nothing changes a whole lot.
Like hairstylist.
Yeah, like you're not going to take off for 3 months and come back and then we cut hair differently now.
Right, all the styles have changed. I mean, certainly there are new styles that kind of come and go or whatever, but yeah, generally that's something you could keep up on.
Yeah. So
it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that, women aren't good at science and math. It's just babies.
I know that they're self-selecting out of science and math. That's really the only thing we can know, because unless somebody's telepathic and can tell us what these women are thinking.
Women, what are you thinking? The toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. I think that, things seem to have shifted somewhat. It does seem that these days more women are interested in science and technology, but obviously not that much.
Right, but just not enough to keep, the leftists at Oxford happy. And then you're telling women what to do for the sake of women's rights. That's dumb.
855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's Free Talk Live.
Hawaii was a wake-up call. Don't be caught without a disaster shelter. Atlas makes an all-disaster shelter that will protect your family from fallout, tornadoes, and hurricanes for only $99.99. That also includes the NBC air filtration system, solid steel construction with an airtight, bulletproof door. That's right, for $99.99 and up. Call 1-855-4BUNKER or go to iwantthatshelter.com. Atlas Survival Shelters, the world leader in fallout shelters.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. goberkey.com.
This week, researchers released a comprehensive 5-year study linking heavy drinking during pregnancy with attending a concert by Detroit-based rap rocker Kid Rock. The study found that women who had consumed alcohol while pregnant were much more likely to be wearing leather halter tops and making devil horn hand gestures during encores of All Summer Long and Ba with the Ba than those who did not.
Drinking 3 or more alcoholic beverages in less than an hour was highly correlated with going backstage at a Kid Rock show and then getting into a fistfight with another woman in the parking lot.
The world's supercomputers released a study this week confirming that they lack sufficient power, presenting a thorough case for significant leaps in speed and memory. Overwhelming evidence found that these complex machines should have total control over the critical systems they manage, including integration into the planet's energy grid, freshwater supply chain, and telecommunications systems. The study's 500 co-authors further concluded that all permutations have been simulated and that this is the optimal course of action.
This is the Onion News Network.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You dial toll free. Join us on the radio waves. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Well, Melanie, you tonight when you came into the studio, you always arrive early on Mondays because you're super punctual, and you showed up during Will's show and you were kind of sleepy, and so I asked you about it.
Yeah.
And apparently you were up really late last night, not partying, as some people are
I
wont to do.
haven't partied in a while.
Late into the night. You weren't staying up on a drug binge. You were actually staying up working on your clients' taxes.
Yes.
Because you do taxes, you're an anarchist, and that means that you hate the state. And so you're going to do everything possible to make sure that your clients who hire you for doing their business or personal taxes, or even some bookkeeping work and such, that they take home as much money as they possibly can from the evil government. You were up late into the night last night to the point where it actually affected your ability to be awake here in the studio. So that's how dedicated you are to providing customer service, doing a good job for your customers, that you're willing to actually suffer from lack of sleep, which may not be a good thing actually in the long run. So I'd like to suggest that you go ahead and get some sleep.
There comes a point when you have to say, like, okay, I'm going to go to sleep so I can wake up and work tomorrow. But yeah.
Should we stop advertising your services? Has it gotten to be too much of a burden? Do you have too many clients at this point?
So there's some deadlines at the end of this month.
Really?
For 1099s and W-2s and stuff like that.
Okay.
So especially if some people haven't had their books done for last year yet, and they have 1099s and W-2s.
From last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I need to, that would be filed this month, so the end of 2017.
I see.
So that would need to be done.
Now, why do you have to file it so early? It's
because
January.
The people with tanks said so.
With what? Oh, tanks.
Because the IRS said so.
I don't think they have tanks.
I don't know,
the federal government
they're
certainly
all
does.
kind of the same entity
Sure.
as the feds.
So you've got some early prep work that needs to get done for some people.
Yeah, so I'm kind of busy in the beginning and in the end, and still busy, but not quite as much in the middle.
Okay, so like the few weeks before April 15th, you're just wall to wall. You've got too much work to do, kind of thing.
Usually, yeah.
But you're not.
Yeah, so if you call me, I probably won't get to you for like a week or two, but
Really?
I'm not
Okay.
like flat booked until April 15th or anything like that.
So you still have room for new clients, is what you're saying?
Yes.
You're willing to take on new clients who want help with taxes, want somebody else to do it for them, or you've got an accountant who's not an anarchist. Odds are you don't have an accountant who's an anarchist, and you'd like to have an accountant who's an anarchist. You should get in touch with Melanie, and you can do that by going to her website, which you can access at tax.freetalklive.com. That's tax.freetalklive.com. As we continue here, we will take your calls and thoughts, of course, about anything you want to discuss. We were talking about Oxford University, which is that's in the UK, isn't it? Oxford.
There is an Oxford in the UK, but there's one in the States. I had assumed that this was the one in the States.
Oh, okay. Well, they had set up a perk, a benefit, an unfair advantage for the women who were in a specific science or technology class. They were taking some sort of a test, and they were given 100+ minutes, or 100. What was it? 125,
105 instead of 90. So
they got an extra 15 minutes to take this test over the male counterparts. And the claim was that they had done this because, well, women have a tougher time under pressure. Now, is that true, yes. Melanie? Do you believe that that's
I don't know.
True?
I think I would defer to psychologists for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is possible that that is the case. I also think it's possible that women have an easier time complaining about being under time pressure.
Good
so
point.
I
Because
don't
there's
know.
a bunch of men out there who's waiting on hand and bended knee to help them with whatever it is they need help with.
Yeah, apparently giving them extra time at classes.
Right.
And I don't see where this says what country it's in. I had
Mm-hmm.
assumed that it was the States, but it could be in
I had no idea there was an Oxford in the United States. I had no clue about that. But you learn something new every
this is
night.
London.
Okay. So the idea being that women are just a little bit slower. They're smart, but they have a tough time under pressure, so you need to give them a little more time than the men in order for
And
it
of
to
course,
be
this is
fair.
realistic to what you would see in a job. You go to work and you're like, hey, boss, I'm a woman. Pay me the same. Give me an extra 15 minutes for every 90 minutes that everybody else has.
Mm-hmm.
And then your boss is like, okay, cool. You just can be 15% late for every deadline. I don't see why I would have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I mean, what is this supposed to accomplish? If you can't do it, you can't do it. Go do something else. If you can do it, then do it.
I mean, certainly there are plenty of women who've been able to take timed tests. I mean, this never happened to me in school. I remember when they had timed tests where you had, like, there was a certain test where you had to finish it by a certain time. They never had an exception or a carve-out.
I've never had a test that wasn't timed.
Is that right?
Although I'm talking about college and graduate school.
I guess I'm thinking back to, like, high school or whatever.
Okay, I don't know.
I mean, I guess the time was like you had the whole class period in certain cases, but in most cases, the tests I took when I was in school, both college and high school, were not timed beyond the class limit. Like, if the class was over, then you're out of time.
It, yeah.
But, you know, there was no, like, 5-minute or 10-minute or half-hour long test.
Yeah, so in undergrad, it was typically the class term time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes teachers would be like, okay, well, this class is an hour and a half, or I'm not going to let you take a 50-question test for an hour and a half. So it's, 50 minutes or whatever.
I see.
Then finals would be a set time, and then in law school, everything was a set time. Unless you went and got an exemption, which apparently you could buy one, so, whatever.
In law school? Of course,
yeah, you
right?
could go pay a doctor to tell them that you had ADD, whether you had it or not.
And then you'd get, what, no time limit?
I think they had just extra time, not no time limit, but kind of in law school, tests were set up to, okay, there's way more material than you could possibly get out. You have 90 minutes, go. So if you're giving people extra time, that doesn't really make sense in that setup. Whereas in most undergrad tests, not all, but most, it's like, okay, it's X knowledge, put it on the paper, and you can't really expand on that. It's like they're asking for specific data and you put it there.
So according to a quick Google search here, when I looked for women and men women versus men under pressure, two headlines pop out. One from HBR.org, the Harvard Business Review. This is from their 2017 November-December issue. Headline, Women Respond Better Than Men to Competitive Pressure. And then on the other hand, there's another headline over at Slate.com. Headline, Women Are Chokers. Studies show they cave under pressure. So
yeah, I don't know where Slate gets that from, and I don't know what the business department has to do saying anything about psychology. So okay. I mean,
they say here among the highest, let's see, this is an older article. This is from 2007. Among the highest paid corporate executives, only 2.5% are women. Among the most elite scientists, those who've been elected to the National Academy of Sciences, fully 9% are women. Depending on your biases, you can read that as evidence that women are better at science than business, that corporations discriminate against women, or, if you believe that profit-maximizing corporations get everything just right, that the National Academy discriminates against men. If you have access to the World Wide Web, you have no problem finding theories, evidence, counter-evidence, and polemics galore on this subject. He says, I just want to talk about one bit of evidence regarding one of the many factors that might be in play. Women, especially high-achieving women, choke under pressure. You can observe a lot of high achievers under pressure at a Grand Slam tennis tournament. Better yet, you can observe them under variable pressure. Things are a lot more tense when the score is 5-5 than when it's 0-0. Professor Daniel Passerman of Hebrew University made good use of this variability at the 2006 French Open, U.S. Open, and Wimbledon tournaments. First, he assigned an importance to each point in each match. He did this by assigning probabilities to every way the match might unfold. And we'll tell you what he learned when he did that here in moments about women and men under pressure. 855-450 free. Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Core and your Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You may dial in toll-free here. Bring up what you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well at Skype username LRN.FM. Or join us in the Discord on-air call-in line. Just go to discord.lrn.fm to jump in our Discord, get interactive with other hosts of the show and listeners, bunch of listeners in there right now, and Melanie has now gotten access to the Discord as well. But we also have Twitch, and there is a chat room there. It's a different chat room, one for the Twitch viewers, but some of those Twitch viewers have already joined us on the Discord. If you haven't checked out our new Twitch, it's one of the other brand new features here at Free Talk Live. It allows you to watch the show in HD, 720p HD quality. You do not get that level of quality on our YouTube feed. So it is the best way, if you're going to watch the show, to watch us. And it's free, of course. So go to twitch.lrn.fm. You can see us there when we're live, which is 7 days a week from 7 to 10 at night Eastern Time. Once again, that's twitch.lrn.fm. And thank you to the over 23, 25 people or so at this point who have subscribed to our channel on Twitch, which means that a little bit of your Amazon Prime revenue is going to Free Talk Live, because otherwise Amazon would just keep it. So if you've got Amazon Prime, you can toss, I think they send us like $2.50 for everybody that does this. You just go to twitch.lrn.fm, pull down the subscribe menu, and then select the Twitch Prime option, and that will donate your Twitch Prime to Free Talk Live and LRN.fm. So once again, that's twitch.lrn.fm. We've been talking about equality, or the clear bias that some agencies have. In this case, the Oxford College, which has given women more time to take tests in certain science and technology class. I'm not sure which classes, but there was at least one that was doing that. It was what Melanie was telling us about. And so I went to go and look, well, what's the internet say? Of course, in a lot of cases, you can find arguments and studies and evidence to back up whatever it is that you already believe about the the issue at hand. And so, of course, simply by looking for women versus men under pressure on Google, I found two what appear to be conflicting articles. One of them from the Harvard Business Journal, or Harvard Business Review in November of 2017, headline, "Women Respond Better Than Men to Competitive Pressure," because that was the ostensible reason why they were given the perk of extra time on the test, was because the Oxford College believes that women are worse under pressure than men. But studies show different things. What do you know? In fact, one of these studies is from Slate.com, which we were just beginning to share with you there, and they claim that women do choke under pressure. And so what happened was, you have a scientist who took a look at tournaments. Danielle Passerman of Hebrew University, back in 2006, looked at a few tennis tournaments. And I guess Danielle is actually a man's name, because it says he assigned an importance to each point in each match and assigned probabilities to every way the match might unfold, accounting for the players' ratings, the surface they were playing on, and the identity of the server. That allowed him to say things like, quote, "If Roger Federer wins this point, he has a 60% chance to win the match. If he loses the point, he has a 55% chance. The 5% difference measures that point's importance." It turns out that by at least one measure, the number of unforced errors, men play equally well throughout the match. They make unforced errors on about 30% of all of those in between. But women show a very different pattern. 34% unforced errors on the least important points, steadily rising to almost 40% on the most important. That's almost surely too big a difference to be a mere coincidence. So what is it besides choking that could explain those numbers? Maybe the closest games are usually played late in the match when players are more fatigued. Maybe more of those games involve weak players. Maybe more of them occur in the French Open, where the court is harder to play. But Professor Passerman tests all of these theories, and none stands up to statistical analysis. Another counter theory. Maybe women play more defensively when the score is tight. If both players just keep lobbing the ball back and forth, there can't be any forced errors, so all errors are recorded as unforced. In support of this theory, Professor Passerman observes that women do play more defensively when the score is tight. But unfortunately for the counter theory, so do men. When the pressure's on, both men and women get more defensive, but only women make more errors. Meanwhile, another band of researchers has been running experiments to see how men and women perform in competitive environments. First, they have subjects solve mazes on their own. Then they pit the same subjects against each other in maze-solving contests. The result? Competition against anyone improves men's performance. Competition against, guess who? Women improves women's performance. So when the women are competing against other women, they get more competitive and do better. But when they're competing against other men, apparently not so much.
I don't feel like this study is conclusive, especially since it's one study, and so one study never is.
No doubt.
That seems to make evolutionary sense to me,
Mhm.
but also I don't care. So we're testing for who's good at computer programming.
Right.
If it's adequate to give people 105 minutes, then give everyone 105 minutes. It shouldn't matter what gender you are, and it's not going to.
That's a good point.
When you get a job later and have to write a program.
In competition against men, women do no better when they're working in isolation. In spirit, that seems opposite to what the professor has been telling us. Women in championship tennis tournaments are always pitted against women. So based on the Mays research, you'd expect heightened performance. And it's a reasonable guess that when the competition gets tougher, performance should get even better. But of course, there's no real contradiction here. It's perfectly possible that same-sex competition in general improves women's performance, while extremely tight competition degrades it. And of course, these are very different populations of women. The subjects in the Mays experiments were engineering students at first-class universities, which is to say they were a pretty elite bunch. But that's still a far cry from being a world-class tennis player. And of course, just as tennis players differ from engineering students, both groups differ from scientists and business executives, so it would be a bit of a stretch to conclude that what happens on the tennis court must also happen in the boardroom or biology lab, but it might be worth looking into. Well, fast forward a decade in the other article that I found. So again, that was the article claiming that women do perform worse under pressure. And then, so fast forward to 2017, 10 years later, this story from the Harvard Business Review, where once again they looked at tennis. Strangely, even though it was a different person studying it, this was Alex Krummer. Now, he looked at a lot of tennis matches, 8,200 games from Grand Slam tennis matches. Alex Krummer of the University of St. Gallen and his colleagues found that the male player's performance showed a larger drop in high-stakes games relative to low-stakes games than the female performers did, or the female player's performance did. Their conclusion was that women respond better than men to competitive pressure. And so then they asked for him to defend his research. He says this: "We looked at the performance of servers who normally have an advantage in every first set played at the 2010 French, U.S., and Australian Opens and at Wimbledon, and we found that the men's performance deteriorated more than the women's when the game was at a critical juncture. For example, in sets that went to 4-4, the number of men's serves that were broken rose more than 7 percentage points after the players had reached the tie. Among women, we barely saw any difference between pre- and post-tie performance. And when female athletes' play did deteriorate as pressure increased, the drop in performance was about 50% less on average than their male counterparts." He says, "So I feel that we can confidently say that in the world of elite tennis, women are better than men under pressure. They choke less." Now, whether that translates to other competitive settings remains to be seen. So there you go. You've got two completely different studies about tennis, about professional tennis stars, coming to two different conclusions about whether women choke more than men. So, or you can
see, and I still don't so that's pretty clearly inconclusive. I still don't think that is at all relevant to how much time you should get on the test.
No, I agree with you. I was just curious as to what the internet said about this, right? Because if Oxford has come to the conclusion that, well, we've determined the women crack under pressure, so we need to give them 15 minutes longer to take this test, I'm just wondering what they saw. You know, what was the evidence that made them come to the conclusion that women crack under pressure more than men? Because, as you said, it's inconclusive. You've got two different studies coming back with and studying the same thing, women playing tennis versus men playing tennis, that found two completely different conclusions. One found that women are better under pressure, and one found that women are worse under pressure.
Well, we should find that out on an individual basis based on what grade you get back, not on a collectivist study basis.
Right, because people are individuals, and it is easy for university types to forget that. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. You can join us. We're going to talk about weed coming up on Free Talk Live.
Does the current world crisis in North Korea or our domestic crisis right here in America concern you? Well, I know it concerns me. My friends over at Legacy Food Storage have solutions in the event there's the inevitable. What's the inevitable? Civil unrest, a run on your local grocery store. And here's my question to you. If this happens, how do you feed your children? How do you feed your grandchildren? Legacy Food Storage has the solutions. In fact, they can help you implement a simple plan to take care of your needs in the event of the inevitable. By calling them right now, I have authorized them to give you a special 20% discount at checkout by simply using GCN. Call 888-543-7345 or visit them at legacyfoodstorage.com. That's 888-543-7345 or visiting them at legacyfoodstorage.com. Make sure you use GCN at checkout for an incredible 20% discount. Don't be a victim. Take control of your life now.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, January 22nd, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.03 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,332 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $38, and the average price of Bitcoin is $11,376. Antiwar.com reports over the weekend, reports have emerged suggesting that the Pentagon is in the process of considering another escalation of the Afghan war, with proposals pushing another 1,000 U.S. ground troops being sent to the country soon. The U.S. had 8,500 troops in Afghanistan last August when President Trump announced his escalation, and has an estimated 14,000 there now. The U.S. Army leadership is said to overwhelmingly back the proposal to add another 1,000, though Defense Secretary James Mattis has not formally signed off on it. If approved, the plan would be to add these troops to the brigade that is embedded with the Afghan troops on the ground, meaning many would be heading into direct combat. Some military officials are conditioning the deployment on sending more heavy weaponry to the country. When Trump's escalation was announced, it was widely expected it would involve more deployments down the road, and was just a general commitment to keep throwing troops at a 16-plus year war as opposed to a single buildup.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
UPI reports the FBI did not retain text messages between two agency officials involved in the investigations of both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump for a 5-month period, according to a Senate committee letter. The missing texts were revealed after the FBI delivered more than 400 pages of text between Agent Peter Strzok, who led the investigation of the Clinton email server, and FBI lawyer Lisa Page, according to Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, the chairman of the Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee. The committee requested the bulk of text after after reports in December that the two made disparaging comments about Trump throughout the 2016 presidential election season. The DOJ was able to collect 384 pages worth of text between Strzok and Page, but said the FBI was not able to collect text Strzok and Page sent to each other between December 14, 2016 and May 17, 2017. Johnson said the inability of the FBI to collect the text was concerning. In a letter to the DOJ, Johnson asked the FBI to further explain why the text messages are missing and produce other relevant records pertaining to the Clinton investigation.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports New York Governor Andrew Cuomo on Sunday said the Statue of Liberty will reopen on Monday even if the U.S. federal government shutdown extends into the work week, vowing to use state funds to keep the landmark monument in operation. Dozens of other national parks and monuments were expected to remain partially or entirely closed after Congress failed to agree on a spending plan to keep the government running past a Friday midnight deadline. In the hours leading up to the shutdown, the Trump administration worked on ways to keep hundreds of parks open without staff in an effort to avoid public anger, although it was unclear which ones would close. U.S. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke said on Twitter over the weekend, "Not all parks are fully open, but we are all working hard to make as many areas as accessible to the public as possible." The National Parks Conservation Association estimated that 1/3 of the 417 national park sites were shuttered. Yellowstone National Park, a 3,500 square mile wilderness located mostly in Montana, remained open but offered limited services, with visitor centers closed and park rangers absent. During the last shutdown in 2013, a number of governors used state funds to keep parks open, including the Statue of Liberty, which at the time cost $61,600 per day to reopen. But in South Dakota, home of Mount Rushmore, the governor said he would not take any action to keep that monument open during the shutdown. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
It's the Onion Radio News. A spokeswoman gives birth to a spokeschild. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Tacoma spokeswoman Tammy Barker became the proud mother of a bouncing baby spokeschild last night. According to spokespeople, Barker, a spokeswoman for a Tacoma-based pharmaceutical firm, the birthing process was a major success. Peter Wahlberg, spokesman for Tammy's husband Phil, had this to say.
At 9:17 p.m. last night, an 8.5-month-old spokes fetus was delivered alive and through the miracle of birth became a 7-pound, 6-ounce spokes child. Spokes father and spokes mother are doing fine.
Spokeswoman Barker is expected to be released from St. Robert's Hospital tomorrow. The spokeschild will remain in the hospital's media care unit for several weeks of training. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour. We got plenty of time for you if you want to join us. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype as well. The Skype username is lrn.fm. Also, you can join us on the Discord, and you can join other listeners in there. But we do have an on-air call-in line. Chat room there where if you join in, we'll see you there and we'll join in and you can talk to us that way. Go to discord.lrn.fm. It's Ian and Melanie in the studio here tonight. We can talk about revenge porn and also cannabis. According to Vox.com, there's a brand new poll that's come out from an anti-marijuana group that shows that U.S. politicians are far behind the public's views on marijuana. But let's talk about revenge porn here for a moment, because it was actually in the news recently here in New Hampshire, as there was a House committee that not last week but the week prior to that debated a bill that would add people who are convicted of revenge porn, which is apparently a crime now here in New Hampshire, or any non-consensual dissemination of private sexual images to the sex offender registry. So if you have a relationship with somebody and there are sexy pictures that are taken at some point during that relationship, and then after the relationship, if you then, or one of the parties of that relationship, then uploads those photos to a revenge porn site, or uploads them online for the purposes of embarrassing somebody, or trying to stop them from getting a job or something like that, putting what they call revenge porn out there, then if you get convicted for that in the state of New Hampshire, if this bill goes through, it will then add you to the sex offender registry.
So this is kind of like a reverse paperclip scenario.
Meaning what?
So these people haven't technically violated the NAP, but
the non-aggression principle?
But I kind of don't care what happens to them.
Okay.
Because it's one of those things that almost should be a NAP violation, but it isn't, so you can't do anything about it.
It's just a scummy thing to do, right? Like it's a low...
It's like somebody said, how evil can I be, but without violating the
non-aggression principle?
Although I think that there is an argument to be made that if these are pictures that you got from somebody you were in a relationship in, part of the contract is that these pictures are for you, not the entirety of the internet.
That certainly would be the seemingly unspoken agreement when those pictures were taken. But it wasn't spoken usually in most cases, right? It was just people...
I don't know. I haven't done a poll before you sext people. Do you explicitly say that this is only for them?
Yeah, I've never taken sex pictures before, so I don't know either. Nor am I interested in taking them.
But...
Because it would seem to me that, look, even though it is a tacky thing to do to somebody, you gotta understand that even though your relationship may seem to be really, really good at the time, and that you want to, do this for your lover and make that person happy or whatever, you have to understand that in the age of the internet, there's a chance that that person is not going to be your partner forever.
It's still, I'm not saying it's a good idea. It's a bad idea to do.
To what, take sex photos?
Yeah, especially if you're sending them. First of all, if you're sending them, even if you're sending them through Signal, my understanding is once we develop quantum computing, everything that is now encrypted will then be unencrypted. So it's there. And it will soon be unencrypted. So you can't really even
bad
trust
news for
encryption,
politicians.
even if it's probably bad news for everybody. But yeah, so even if you trust that person, if you trust the platform, it's not a good idea.
Long term,
but that's not really, that to me does not rise to the level of an unsympathetic victim. So that person who's releasing this stuff is still absent, like excruciating circumstances.
But look,
still...
I'm with you. It's a scummy thing to do, to release somebody's what they thought were private photos. Whether you took them for that person or not, or whatever the deal was behind the scenes, if there was even anything explicitly said about them, it's still a scummy thing to do. But it's, in my opinion, not a crime.
So there's a lot of things that the state is doing to a lot of people, and the people who are releasing revenge porn are absolutely not sympathetic victims at all. So if the state's hurting them, I don't know how much I care. I'm not going to help the state hurt them.
I care because I don't want to see people put in a prison cell because they put some pictures on the internet. I don't think that, again, as tacky of a move as it is, I don't think that we need to be forcing people behind bars because of it. To me, if you're going to have prisons, and I don't necessarily think that punitive sentencing is really that much of a deterrent.
Right, but this is the state that we have, and obviously we shouldn't have it. But if I'm going to pick who I'm going to defend between drug users, people who operate a business without a license, people who went 5 over the speed limit, people who didn't actually commit a crime and got framed, like all the people you could possibly pick, I'm sorry, these are not the people this is one of those times that I call the I have no duty to defend others card. If the revenge porn people and the state people want to fight it out, I'm going to go over here and do something else.
No, I get what you're saying, but to me, I think that and there is a strong argument that there is a victim in this case, right? Like that the person was expecting those.
And if you think about it there's some things that are not violations, but from a statist perspective are not insane.
Mm-hmm.
So is it a not violation to pull somebody over for driving through a subdivision at 11 o'clock at night honking the horn? Yes. But from a statist perspective, I can see where they're coming from.
Well, from the perspective of somebody who wants peace and quiet at night,
right?
You can
Yeah.
understand.
So that makes sense. It's not just I'm going to go arrest people for fun. I'm not really yes, the cop is wrong. I'm not really mad at the cop.
The cop may not arrest. The cop may simply pull the person over and say
temporarily kidnap or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, the cop's wrong. Outside of the fact that he's a cop, leaving that aside, I'm not going to be mad at him in that scenario.
Look, I get what you're saying. Your time is limited as an attorney, and you're not an attorney, but you did go to law school. But as an attorney, if you have the ability to pick a defendant,
or even not as an attorney, but as a person who's going to make philosophical
Mm-hmm. So are you saying I shouldn't have argued against this? Because the proposal is to add...
What, on the air?
No. I'm quoted in this article. I was actually at the hearing because I go to the State House pretty regularly, not as often as Daryl W. Perry, who's there every day that the State House meets, but I was there a couple times that very week.
He gets paid to be there, so
that's correct, and I don't.
We can't. Yeah, if you have a different job, you can't necessarily be there every day.
I was in this hearing, and I was in several hearings throughout the day in the Criminal Justice Committee. So, I mean, I wasn't there specifically for this hearing, but I knew I was going. I was going to be in that committee throughout the day. I'm sitting there in that room. Should I have not spoken against this? Because, again, their proposal here is to put revenge porn people, who it's now a crime to commit revenge porn, so it's already being punished in the criminal justice system. They're talking about expanding the punishment now to include a sex offender registry entry for them. Are you saying I should have kept my mouth shut?
I wouldn't necessarily go that far. I do think that there is the contract argument. I think that it's kind of a weak argument. But
if the contract was violated, then there should be some sort of compensation, right?
Right, but I don't know if I don't know that I can conclusively demonstrate that there is a contract.
Right, and then how much would the violation be worth anyway in that case? Because
so value is subjective,
right? Because some people are going to say this ruins their lives.
Yeah, some people this is going to be a really big deal. Some people are going to be like, whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of my attitude. Is like,
but value is subjective. Yeah. So, which is one of the many reasons why proportionality is BS.
Well, and one of the arguments I gave when I was up there was, there are so many porn images on the internet. I just find it hard to believe that somebody having their photos released on a website somewhere is in any way going to affect that person's life. It just seems unbelievable to me. The odds that somebody they know is going to see it.
There are people who intentionally go into the porn industry, and there are people who, if their face is there or something and somebody recognizes it, that's going to be a problem for them.
No, I understand that. I get you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. But what are the odds? I mean, with the billions of porn photos out there that you're going to see it.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
From the third letter of Captain Mark. The Crown's observation conditions us to be dishonest with ourselves. Therefore, constant surveillance produces a society of constant deception. Honest communication is the seed of civilized conduct. To deny us this seed is to deny us its fruits. But the Crown's primary objective is to stifle free thought itself, to make its subjects incapable of dissent. Seasoned pirates have always encrypted messages and codes and ciphers, so intercepted transmissions were incomprehensible. But today the Crown possesses advanced tools of pattern recognition that document, profile, and predict our every move. Today, piracy requires hailing frequencies completely invisible to the Crown. We are tired of poltergeists in the static. Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels, Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to BIPCOT.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up what you want by dialing toll-free here at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got Skype, and the Skype username here is LRN.FM. With you in the studio here tonight, you've got me, Ian.
And Melanie.
And I also want to let you know about Dash. It's digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, it can be private and easy. Fees are low and transactions are quick and can be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. And Dash is decentralized and run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. You can join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. Go to dash.org and you will find out why. As we continue here, we've been talking about revenge porn. It is in the news here in New Hampshire. They recently, I guess it was last year, when they criminalized the posting, the unconsenting or non-consensual posting of photos or videos of a sex basis to the internet without the consent of the other partner. And that's what's generally considered to be revenge porn. Now, if you get convicted of revenge porn, I believe, I don't remember if they made it a felony or not. I forget whether or not it was considered to be a felony. I think it was like a low-class felony. I'll have to double-check on that. But they are now talking about adding a sex offense registry for anybody who gets convicted of revenge porn. Now, to be clear, the proposal is that the sex offender registry edition is private, when it first happens, meaning that only law enforcement would be able to access that. So it wouldn't be a public registry entry. So, on the scheme of things, it's not as offensive as a public registry entry, but it's just one more step until they go ahead and make them public. So you were saying before, Melanie, that you don't really consider this to be a non-aggression principle violation, but you think these guys are scum.
That's not what I said. It might actually... Oh, yeah, sorry. I understood that wrong. Okay, yeah. So, I'm not 100% really sure on this, but I'm leaning towards it's not. But, I mean, it's a reverse paperclip. Like, that's the only thing I really know how to call it. The free market would have ways with dealing with this that are kind of prevented by the state right now.
What do you think the free market would do in this case?
I mean, would you associate with people who did this, or sell them food, or rent to them, or...
Well, I mean, it depends. There was a controversy within the libertarian community a few years ago. There was a young lady who there's no point in naming names here, but there were a couple of libertarian guys who got their hands on a topless photo of a lady in the libertarian community, and presumably the reason for this was because she sent that photo to one of those guys.
Yeah, she was dating one of them.
And they put that picture out there. They put that picture out there. Was it a tacky thing to do? Yes, it was. Does that mean that they should be ostracized forever?
Tacky is when you wear pajamas to Walmart.
Yeah.
This is morally heinous.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but to me, it just doesn't seem that offensive. Like, it's just another picture on the internet. If you didn't want the chance that it would be released to happen, you shouldn't have taken the photo in the first place. I don't want to blame the victim here, but ultimately the victim empowered their victimizer by giving them the thing to hand away in the first place.
Right, but you could say the same thing of people who leave money on the counter, or don't have good enough locks on their door, or leave their car door unlocked, which I think is stupid. But
well, at the same time, if you give somebody the keys to your car and then they run off with it,
right? So if you
gave them the keys.
Okay, so if you give your boyfriend the keys to your car and then you break up with him and say, "I want my keys back," and he's like, "F you, no," and he keeps coming to your house and driving your car off. That's still theft.
Yeah, that's
theft. It doesn't
theft.
matter that you originally gave him the keys.
I understand that, but I'm not blaming the victim here, but I am just simply pointing out, as I pointed out at the hearing at the State House, which you can actually watch on the Free Keene YouTube channel at youtube.com/freekeene. It's from a couple weeks ago. But as I pointed out, if you didn't give the pictures over, then they never could have distributed them. So, again, we know this is a possibility. This is the age of the internet. It's so easy to share media. It's so easy to spread photos around. Everybody knows this. And you should know that even though you're in love and that this, seems like the perfect relationship, there's a chance that it will fail. And there's a chance that when it fails, it'll be ugly. Now, I don't want it to be ugly. I always try to make sure that my breakups go as smoothly as possible.
Right, but you've given people who you've been dating access to some of your property. Mm-hmm. So you've had people live in your house that you were dating. Does that mean that because you gave them the key code or, access to the house and let them put their stuff in here, that after you break up with them, they can just keep walking into the house because you originally gave them access to the house and it's your fault now?
No, of course not.
Okay, so then why is this different?
Because this is different than stealing a car or breaking into somebody's home. This is something that you gave to them previously under certain circumstances, that those circumstances changed, but you don't have a way of revoking that. If I have a car and I have a pair of keys that are normally in my possession, I just simply don't give them to you anymore if we just broke up. If I have a house and there's a lock on that house, I can change the code to the lock or change the lock or whatever, and then you don't have access to the house anymore. Whereas with photographs, you have those, and you could have copied them and placed them in a variety of different places during that time frame. So you're comparing apples and oranges in this particular case. But we'll continue on revenge porn. You're also welcome to comment. Let's go to your calls and thoughts. Bad Slave is on the line in New Hampshire. Go ahead, Bad Slave.
Hi, I'm Melody.
Hey.
What's on your mind?
Yeah. Listen, what have they been doing protesting this whole free the nipple thing? What happens if nakedness is no longer a crime? And do all naked pictures disappear into the revenge porn goes away? And
whoa, hold on. Naked topless nudity at the beach or full nudity at the beach or in public is not the same. It's not the same thing as somebody in a private place choosing to give what they believed to be a private photo to somebody that they thought they could trust with it. I mean, it's not at all the same thing.
Well, I think all of the shame and all of the all of the ire comes from the idea that nakedness is prohibited, that it's,
or that it's bad,
that it's bad. Right. And if it becomes not bad,
yes,
then it takes some of the pressure off.
Totally, right? I totally agree with you there. If there were, and if you want to hang on, Bad Slave, for more comments, you're welcome to. I totally agree with you there. If nudity and sex weren't considered bad things in American society, then it just wouldn't be a big deal at all. I mean, generally. But it is still...
Some people would probably still care.
Some people would. And a lot of people care now because of, again, all of this sort of weight that's put on nudity in this society. More coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Frustrated trying to get business capital? Want to take the slow process and rejection out of the equation? GCNloans.com removes the slow, irritating approval process. Instead, get quick, simple funding. Powered by David Allen Capital, 80% of our pre-qualified clients are approved in days. Pre-qualify at GCNloans.com and get your money this week. It's that easy. GCNloans.com. That's GCNloans.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com. Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Never, ever send a follow-up email asking, "Did you get my email?" Email 101. If it didn't bounce back undeliverable, it got where you sent it. And avoid transmedia pestering, like calling to ask, did you get my email? Or emailing to say, I left you a voicemail. If your emails and voicemails aren't being acknowledged, your problem isn't technology, it's technique. Is your message concise and understandable? Have you boiled it down to seem as relevant as possible to the recipient? In other words, is it the opposite of spam or junk mail? All of this really matters if you're a job seeker. But even if you're not, with money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we do have Skype, so feel free to Skype in here at Skype username LRN.FM. Also, join us in the Discord chat, which is hopping tonight. There are a bunch of people in there chatting about what's going on here during the show, but there are other channels in there. Maybe you want to talk about cryptocurrency or gaming or whatever with other Free Talk Live listeners and hosts. You can do that at discord.lrn.fm, and you can get on our on-air call-in line on the Discord and call us that way as well. Once again, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Zencash.com is where you can go to learn more about a newer cryptocurrency from 2017 is when it got started that, like a lot of cryptos, has some cool features. It's got the zero knowledge anonymity, and it's got decentralized autonomous organizations, which are two cool technologies that have been very successful in other cryptocurrencies. So they borrowed from the best here, but also, very importantly, Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. These are voluntarists. These are people who love liberty that founded Zencash, and you can see it right there in their white paper. They actually reference voluntarism in the white paper for the currency. Go and read it for yourself and do your own research. I'm not saying that Zencash is going to beat Bitcoin or whatever, but hopefully it'll do well. Of course, I can't predict the future. There are over 1,000 cryptocurrencies out there, and anything's possible. But in the realm of cryptocurrencies, Zencash is one of the ones that's got some of the hosts of this show excited, and that's not just because they're sponsoring the show. We actually had the folks over at the Call to Freedom. They did a serious look into Zencash, even deeper than I did when I was sort of assessing them as well. Can we even accept their sponsorship? Because I don't want to accept something that's straight up scam or whatever, or even looks potentially scammy. And in the case of Zencash, they got an A+ rating by Aria Demenzio, the cryptocurrency check over on the Call to Freedom. So really, they're doing great work over there. It's still early on though, so there's a few bugs that need to get ironed out. The the software is a little rough around the edges. So if you want to help them out, I'm sure they'd appreciate any programming assistance or assistance with promotions. So check it out over at Zencash.com and get in on the ground floor. Zencash.com. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. We're talking about the idea of revenge porn, and it's not a nice thing to do. People shouldn't do this, but I don't think that just because it's a mean thing to do that it should be considered a crime. And I certainly don't think that if it is considered a crime, as it is here in New Hampshire, that it should be punished with a sex offender registry, which is the newest proposal being floated for this. Now, it hasn't passed yet. It's a crime that passed last year, but the proposal now is to add it to the sex offense registry if somebody gets convicted of it. And we've got Bad Slave on the line here. Bad Slave, you're saying that a lot of this comes from the idea that sex is bad, that nudity is bad, and there's all this shame that surrounds sexuality and nudity in this country, and that because of that shaming and because of that Puritan kind of mentality is why people push back against the idea of a naked picture being put online as opposed to just being like, oh, well, whatever, it's just another naked picture on the internet. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's kind of my summary of what you were saying there. So go ahead.
That's exactly it. And I don't think that's the right anything for the hugely blunt and destructive instrument of central governments should even be engaged in. Murder, rape, where somebody can't even walk away from what happened when, people steal a bunch of someone's resources and, spend it all. Those are real crimes. That's real harm.
Right.
If it's a psychological thing, you have to own that. I'm just, people need to own their own stuff. I mean, like you say, if you don't want that photograph to be shown to anyone, don't let anybody take it.
Right.
It's a very simple threshold.
Right, but I could say the same thing about if you don't want everyone to know that you said something, don't put it on the internet, even if it is an anonymous forum. Does that then make it okay to go dox every single person with an anonymous forum? And maybe that's not...
Doxing is legal. I mean, doxing is taking information from public posts and just simply reposting that.
Not from public posts. Regardless of whether it's legal, is it right? If you're just like, I just want to publicize every account on the internet and I'm just going to do that as a hobby, is that morally wrong?
I don't know what's necessarily wrong with it. If you're putting information on the internet and somebody collects it and reposts it, again,
Well, no, not repost it, because I can repost anything I want from an anonymous
forum. But that's what a doxing is. A doxing is where you post... Y'all right there, Bad Slave?
I'm sorry, I don't have a cough button here. So.
Okay. I'm just going to put you on hold for just a moment while you deal with that. All right there, Bad Slave? Whoops. That wasn't hold at all. Anyway, so doxing, as I understand it, is where somebody who wants to reveal information
when you
about a
publish
person.
Somebody's address, phone number,
right, all of which that information is generally publicly available. Most doxings come from publicly available information about a person, meaning that the person doing the doxing did the research on that person.
Okay, so you think that everybody who's a member of an anonymous forum shouldn't be a member of an anonymous forum, because if you do anything ever, you should do it publicly.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
We choose to be public figures, and that's a choice that we make. Some people don't make that choice, and that's also fine.
That.
So if they want to have things that are private, people shouldn't go and, override that decision.
I agree with you. If you've got something that's private, people should respect that.
But you're saying to never have a relationship with...
I'm saying don't take sex pictures if you don't want to risk them getting out there.
Right, but then are sex pictures different than anything else that you would tell either anonymous forum or anybody else in any of your relationships? I mean, is it okay?
Yeah, if you've got something that you'd want to keep secret, then keep it secret. If you tell somebody something,
you shouldn't ever have any close relationships.
I'm not saying that,
but you are saying that because you're saying not to tell people things.
Yeah, if you're worried about something getting out, if you're growing marijuana, and you tell one person, every one person that you tell increases the likelihood that you're either going to get robbed or busted by 99%. So if you tell one person that you're growing marijuana, there's a good chance you're going to get robbed or busted. If you tell two people, you're almost guaranteed to get robbed or busted. So if you want some information to stay secret, you've got to keep it a secret, even from people who you are close with. Because unless you completely trust somebody, and again, people can change.
But if you're hiding things from people, then you're not really close with those people.
I totally agree with you. I don't think there's anything wrong with being intimate with somebody and telling them the things that you want to tell them. But later on, if that person all of a sudden decides to hate you for some reason, you've just given them ammunition against you.
That's the risk that you take.
You've given them ammunition, and that's your fault. That's your fault.
It's your fault for having a relationship with anyone ever.
It's your fault for giving them ammunition that can be used against you.
Okay, so in order to avoid these kinds of situations, people should never have close relationships of any kind.
That's not what I'm saying.
But you're saying don't tell people stuff.
If you want it to be kept a secret, yeah, you got to keep it a secret.
Okay, so
this is basic secrets.
Right, I understand.
Okay?
I understand the risk analysis portion, but what you're saying is you're not a sympathetic victim unless you have no close relationships, because if you have close relationships, that means you're telling people things.
I'm not saying the victims aren't victims or are unsympathetic. I feel bad for people that have had this happen to them because it's a crappy thing to do, to put somebody's sex pictures out there on the internet without their permission. That's a crappy thing to do. Is it a crime? I don't think it should be a crime. I don't think that any court time, or jail time or taxpayer dollars needs to be spent locking up people or putting them on probation or anything for doing something like that because it was preventable. It was preventable because the person never had to take the photo in the first place. And that's different than telling somebody, something that is secretive because, again, one thing you're just telling, the other, there's evidence.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out Dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
Here's a special message for those of you who owe the IRS at least $10,000 or more in back taxes. The IRS has special programs in place that could eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. Call the Federal Tax Management Helpline that has been set up for you, 800-503-8625. Stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. Once you've qualified and enrolled, the IRS will stop all the collection activities against you. These unique programs have been allocated to help the economy and significantly reduce or eliminate your tax burden. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe more than $10,000 in taxes, call for free information and to see if you qualify. Take down the number now for the Federal Tax Management Hotline, 800-503-8625. That's 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Free Talk Live.
Who is playing dress up as a guess?
Superhero.
Ninja.
Yeah.
A border ninja.
See, that would be the problem. Somebody else would dress up like a pirate, and then there would be a war.
Yeah. Just the pirates duking it out.
Wait, well, what do the pirates have against ninjas? Ninjas and pirates are like matter and antimatter. They can't be together.
Okay.
I have a feeling the ninjas would just whoop it up on the pirates.
Are you kidding? Pirates. Pirates, man.
Oh, the pirates do have cannons. They have the long-range attack ability, but once you get in close...
It's hard to be tougher than a pirate, though.
The pirates are certainly tough, but the agility I don't think is there. They sit around on a ship all day.
hand, lose a leg, you can still get 200 people to be afraid of you as you stomp around with half of your, an eye patch, one hand, one leg. You stomp around half a person, and you're still commanding 200 people.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Lil Drums. Every bit as fun as a full-size Nestle drumstick cone, and definitely cuter. Visit us at drumstick.com. Vacations are all about family time, but you don't have to leave home to have fun. Take 1 weekend a month and devote it to family activities. Pull out the board games and puzzles, serve up some treats, or have a picnic. Even without leaving home, you'll feel like you've really had some time away. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free here at 855-450-FREE like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. In these remaining moments, we've got enough time for you. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Melanie.
Don't forget, you can join us online. Head over to freetalklive.com. If you like what we do on Free Talk Live, then please join the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. The idea is you send $5 a month into the show. We take that in and invest it into Free Talk Live so we can get on more radio stations around the country and bring new internet listeners on board. I'm excited that soon we're going to be announcing a new station in New Hampshire. Actually, 3 new stations in New Hampshire, which may give us suggestion as to which ones they will be for people that know the marketplace up here. But I can't say it yet because it's not happened, and I don't like to jinx it by announcing something in advance before it's actually done. The agreement is signed, though, so just within a matter of weeks, we'll be able to announce the new stations there, and we can get more stations. We can, we've got like 170 of them now. But we've kind of plateaued out here because we'll lose a few and we'll gain a few because sometimes stations will change formats. They'll go from talk radio to sports talk or to music or something like that. And so we've kind of plateaued out at like 160, 170 for a while here, but we can get through and get above 200. It just takes more effort. It takes more money to advertise, market, and promote Free Talk Live. So that's something that you can do here is help us out at amp.freetalklive.com, and you'll get perks. You'll get access to the AMP-only call-in lines. You'll get the AMP-only podcast and more. So head over to amp.freetalklive.com, and you get access, new perks, to the AMP badge. So if you're on the Free Talk Live forum at forum.freetalklive.com, you can just send me a private message there. Let me know your AMP email address, and then I will verify that you are who you say you are, and then give you the Free Talk Live badge for the Free Talk Live forum for the amplifiers, so everybody knows that you are a Free Talk Live amper. And then also, now that we have the new Discord chat room, you can get a special AMP status there, which you can do by sending me a private message on Discord. You can either private message my personal account or the LRN FM studio account. Either way is fine. Just private message me your AMP email address. Again, that's just so I can verify that you are who you say that you are, because we don't want somebody going in there and claiming to be Gene the Christian Anarchist so they can get free access, and they're not actually Gene the Christian Anarchist. So yeah, just shoot me your email address, and as soon as I get a chance, I will upgrade you to AMP status on the Discord, which gives you access to the AMP-only Discord chat and the AMP-only Discord voice chat as well. So check that out. You can go to discord.lrn.fm to get involved there. And please, amp the show using any major credit card or PayPal, or you can use Bitcoin Core over at amp.freetalklive.com. That's amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue here, let's bring Bad Slave back on for a final comment. Free Talk. He was having a tough time there a few moments ago, but Bad Slave, are you with us?
Oh, I'm all good now.
All
Thank you. The final thing I want to say is that this is just one facet of a bigger issue. The bigger issue is victimless crimes, and that any time that there is the possibility of a victimless crime, and I think that the exposure of data is a victimless crime almost all the time.
Unless you are under a contract. I mean, if you, if you are working for a corporation and that corporation entrusts you with data, and you have a contract saying that is not your data, and then you go ahead and you take that data and distribute it after the fact, then that is a victim.
That's not what we're talking about here. I mean, you could have contracts and privately, and then there would be consequences, I would think, to breaking those contracts. I mean, you could do that with your boyfriend.
Right, but it's not exactly sexy to bring out the contract before the, whatever the session is.
The prenups and all of that sort of thing. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is giving the power to the government to investigate these things. And no matter what it is, whether it's because you use a plant that's, prohibited, or even own a firearm. I don't think that owning a firearm should be a crime.
I agree.
The idea of this classification of felon after you paid for any previous crimes that rides with you forever. I'd say, listen, self-defense is part of life. One of our first rights is life. And if we can't defend ourselves, then that's out the window. So I'm just saying that ultimately this boils down to, the hard line I think we ought to have between a real crime and a victimless activity, and because those victimless activities that turn into crimes, people.
But this one isn't as victimless as most victimless crimes. I got to agree with Melanie on that one. Because there was the sort of unspoken agreement, which was to say that this is a picture just for you, my lover, not for the whole internet. Or maybe that was actually said. Like maybe the person sending the pic was like, don't share this with anybody else. And there actually was an agreement of, okay, I won't share it with anybody else. And then they violated that. So, you are skirting an area where there is a potential victim in this particular case. But either way, it's not a level of victimization that deserves prison time.
Right.
Or
And
I
actually don't even think that it rises to, hire yourself a private eye and have that person go after. This narrative.
Have them go after them in what way?
Yeah.
Well, you can dox the daylights out of them too.
So hit them back is what you're saying. Give them.
Yeah, it's like the turnabout's fair play.
Maybe that's one way to protect yourself. If you really do feel like you have to take sexy photos, you could demand that the other person take one of themselves first, meaning that you would get potential reverse blackmail against them if they were to put your picture out. Again, presuming they care as much as you do, because again, this requires a person to actually care that their photos have been disseminated.
Are you going to have something else on them? And so the state shouldn't be involved in this because the state shouldn't be involved in anything, and the state shouldn't do anything other than cease to exist. But
the state's a terrible actor.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Right. So the state shouldn't do this because the state shouldn't do anything other than cease to exist.
Thanks,
but
Bad
at the
Slave.
same time, in the same sense that I'm going to say that you should not shoot somebody who steals your paperclip, I'm also going to say that I do not care what happens to these people.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying there. I think that I have to care because freedom is important, and freedom of speech is also important, and ultimately this is an issue of speech.
Posting your ex-girlfriend's naked photos on Facebook is not freedom of speech.
It absolutely
is.
It is a freedom of speech.
But you don't have the only right you have is the right to non-aggression. So freedom of speech is a statist concept anyway.
Well, I like the idea of free speech. I think it's a good concept. I don't think there's anything statist about people being able to say what they want on a forum in which they have the ability to say the things that they want. So, as somebody who defends the idea of free speech, as somebody who stands up for the,
most websites are going to have contracts with you that say that you can't post naked photos of anybody. So, I don't know how that even falls under anything you would define as free speech anyway.
Well, you can post photos on all kinds of sites that don't have those agreements, but regardless, I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to attend this hearing, but I was there, and so I spoke against this bill to add to sex offender registries those who've been convicted of revenge porn, because ultimately that makes society worse, putting people into more punitive situations, having more people on these registries. I'm against registries, period.
Yeah, so the registries does make it a little bit different. And I'm not going to say that you're wrong for having done that, but there are people...
Speaking?
Yeah, for speaking against it. But there are certain behaviors that I'm just not going to defend for kind of strategic
I don't have to
purposes.
defend the behavior. See, I didn't defend the behavior when I spoke about it. I said this is a tacky thing to do. The quotes, actually, they quoted me here at the Union Leader in a news article about this. I said, quote, let's get people to take responsibility for their actions. This bill goes too far. If you don't want your picture on the internet, maybe you shouldn't allow it to be taken in the first place. If you never consented to having your picture taken, then that's a problem. Meaning if somebody takes your picture without your consent, then that should be a crime. I said, how are we supposed to know, or how are we to know if the person who was a victim didn't consent to having their picture taken in the moment and then consented to it being uploaded to a website, but then later after the breakup, that person then says and turns around and says they never consented to it. It's tacky, I said at the time, but I don't think it's something that deserves sex offense registry. You put those people on these registries and you start treating someone who shared pictures on the internet the same as a serial rapist. So, there you go. Melanie, thanks for joining us. You can check Melanie out over at tax.freetalklive.com for your help with your taxes, personal or business. We'll see you tomorrow night. freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, January 22nd, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.03 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,332 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $38, and the average price of Bitcoin is $11,376. Antiwar.com reports over the weekend, reports have emerged suggesting that the Pentagon is in the process of considering another escalation of the Afghan war, with proposals pushing another 1,000 U.S. ground troops being sent to the country soon. The U.S. had 8,500 troops in Afghanistan last August when President Trump announced his escalation, and has an estimated 14,000 there now. The U.S. Army leadership is said to overwhelmingly back the proposal to add another 1,000, though Defense Secretary James Mattis has not formally signed off on it. If approved, the plan would be to add these troops to the brigade that is embedded with the Afghan troops on the ground, meaning many would be heading into direct combat. Some military officials are conditioning the deployment on sending more heavy weaponry to the country. When Trump's escalation was announced, it was widely expected it would involve more deployments down the road, and was just a general commitment to keep throwing troops at a 16-plus year war as opposed to a single buildup.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
UPI reports the FBI did not retain text messages between two agency officials involved in the investigations of both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump for a 5-month period, according to a Senate committee letter. The missing texts were revealed after the FBI delivered more than 400 pages of text between Agent Peter Strzok, who led the investigation of the Clinton email server, and FBI lawyer Lisa Page, according to Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, the chairman of the Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee. The committee requested the bulk of text after reports in December that the two made disparaging comments about Trump throughout the 2016 presidential election season. The DOJ was able to collect 384 pages worth of text between Strzok and Page, but said the FBI was not able to collect text Strzok and Page sent to each other between December 14th, 2016 and May 17th, 2017. Johnson said the inability of the FBI to collect the text was concerning. In a letter to the DOJ, Johnson asked the FBI to further explain why the text messages are missing and produce other relevant records pertaining to the Clinton investigation.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports New York Governor Andrew Cuomo on Sunday said the Statue of Liberty will reopen on Monday even if the U.S. federal government shutdown extends into the work week, vowing to use state funds to keep the landmark monument in operation. Dozens of other national parks and monuments were expected to remain partially or entirely closed after Congress failed to agree on a spending plan to keep the government running past a Friday midnight deadline. In the hours leading up to the shutdown, the Trump administration worked on ways to keep hundreds of parks open without staff in an effort to avoid public anger, although it was unclear which ones would close. U.S. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke said on Twitter over the weekend, "Not all parks are fully open, but we are all working hard to make as many areas as accessible to the public as possible." The National Parks Conservation Association estimated that 1/3 of the 417 national park sites were shuttered. Yellowstone National Park, a 3,500 square mile wilderness located mostly in Montana, remained open but offered limited services, with visitor centers closed and park rangers absent. During the last shutdown in 2013, a number of governors used state funds to keep parks open, including the Statue of Liberty, which at the time cost $61,600 per day to reopen. But in South Dakota, home of Mount Rushmore, the governor said he would not take any action to keep that monument open during the shutdown. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
College roommates continue their bonding process until real friends are made, and a teacher hopes they never Google him. It's time for the weekly video feature that's heartier and more comforting than a heaping bowl of mom's butternut squash soup. This is the Onion Week in Review. Longtime James F. Blaine Elementary School teacher Suzanne Pomponio told reporters today that she could not believe how much fatter her second graders are getting. Pomponio estimates that each and every one of her kids must be 8 to 10 pounds heavier than anyone in her 2011 class, adding, quote, "and those kids were pretty fat too."
Honestly, I didn't think it was possible that this year's kids could be fatter than last year's, but they are. I mean, the short kids are fat, tall kids are fat, and there's a smell. I don't really know how to describe it.
Local dad Michael Carrain navigated several discount travel websites today with a precision reminiscent of 18th century Viennese prodigy Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart composing a symphony.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
Yeah, no fear, no fear, no fear, no fear, no fear, no fear here, and declare your independence of me here in Hancock here in Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, from the BEAU, the full studios of Freedom's with an S. Phoenix, here we go. Check it out. See how sick I am. Phoenix.com. All right, that's about the best I can do. All right, what we're doing is we're going to Bitcoin, blockchain, ICOs, and all kinds of goodies at the North American Bitcoin Conference in Miami. Miami, January 18th to 19th. And who's there right now? Leo Magpok and Michael and Todd and a lot of guys that we know here. It is going to be, before I even ask, I haven't talked to him. I tell you, I know. It's going to be compliance or not compliance. And I'll guarantee you, this is the big giant, how much can we comply? And we make some money and get us permission slip out of the blue pages if we get to do something. And, we're going to make us a bunch of money. And freedom is like, fifth on the list. So how far off am I, Leo?
They're doing a little bit of compliance stuff, but it's like sprinkled throughout the whole conference.
Okay, so when did you guys get there?
We got here the night before the conference.
Okay, so it was yesterday and today, right?
Yeah.
All right, so the theme of the whole event is what? We want to what? You'll free me?
Yeah, it seems like Dash is sponsoring everything, and a lot of it's like Dash Central.
Oh, okay. So they, put some money into it. All right, well, give me a report, man. Go. Don't make me. I'm sick, man. Don't make me ask a bunch of questions.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty much like any other conference, but yes, there's a lot of cops here. Like, it's like worse than getting into a stadium and like Super Bowl.
Why?
They're barking orders at you.
Why? Why are the cops there?
I don't know. Because it's Miami-Dade area. It's like a standing army down here.
I mean, in the conference or outside the conference?
In and outside of it. The barking orders, everyone bags open and hands out. I mean, actually, TSA is not even that bad.
Damn. Okay, so you've gone to some of the speakers already?
Yeah, I sat into most of them yesterday. There's super good stuff. There's a lot of ICO pitches, and
well, how do they pitch an ICO?
Nothing new though.
Okay, they go. Let's do my ICO, initial coin offering on this thing, and we're going to do mine. It's going to be a bunch of money. We're going to do this one because it's what? What's their pitch?
It's a lot of different things, but I really didn't see anything that new and exciting.
Okay,
there wasn't one robotics company that's doing some kind of they were doing some kind of software based on blockchain that was running robots.
Well, yay. Okay, so who all's there? Is it who's in the room with you?
Todd and Mike, basic.
Okay, so next segment we'll do we'll split between you. Next one we'll do Mike or Todd, and then the next one, the other one, and then we'll get perspective from everybody. But from your perspective, you guys went there because why?
Well, we're doing our own blockchain business and networking, and also we wanted to see some of the things here because I haven't been to Miami in a lot of years and wanted to kind of see what the culture was.
Well, you guys plan on going to you have some contacts in the Philippines. You're going to be hanging out there here directly too, aren't you?
Yeah, we're flying on Monday.
Really? Okay, so you're going. So what's Bitcoin and blockchain and crypto and such, what's their attitude in the Philippines?
Well, we're going to find out about that. I do know from my research and that there's a lot of money going in there because there's a lot of remittance going back. And so much has went back in this last year just through Bitcoin because there's apps like Abra where you go to 7-Eleven, you put some Filipino pesos down, and they're basically buying Bitcoin, and it shows up on your wallet on the other side of the world, and it's pretty much instantaneous.
This is a lot of people don't know. We've done shows on this before. There's been TED Talks years ago and all kinds of stuff about people that they escape their poverty and they find a job somewhere. They're on a cruise ship, like Philippines, a lot of cruise ship people, and you'll have in Asia, all over there, going somewhere, Africa. They really get raped on the remittances. What they're talking about is you're sending money home. And here in the U.S., they go to Wells Fargo, or Western Union, and they go, Western Union, send X amount of dollars back to mom in, Sonora somewhere. And it costs so much when if you use, any crypto other than Bitcoin, you do Bitcoin Cash or something, and it's like pennies to send however much you want, and it just way cut out the middleman on that one.